And hello and welcome Opus to the stream, and we are continuing our build of the Psycho Mark II Gundam. And I just noticed, 1 second. Okay, sorry. It's kind of interesting. I just noticed here, because I just turned to this page, that it has like almost a full inner frame in the legs. Except halfway up the thigh, they just went like, no, this is too much. It's too much work. No more inner frame. Well, it's kind of weird how it has an X-ray view like that. It doesn't have an X-ray view here. Yeah, the chest doesn't have an. Why do the legs have an X-ray view? Just to show that they kind of like they thought about making an inner frame, got 80% of the way, and then just went screw it. Ooh. But actually, before we start, I'd like to show you guys what we're building next, because this is probably the penultimate episode for this. Ooh. I wish I could say this was the final episode, but you know how long... You know it's gonna take me like 2 more streams to build the legs. But after this, because Etta is finishing her rebranding this week, we will be building this starting next week. This is the Man Roadie from Iron-Blooded Orphans. And also, I found something last weekend that I think you guys will appreciate. And that is this thing. It's a 30 minutes mission kit. I can't lower it any lower than this because this fat bastard. But I got it because I thought it would be a really good place to start weathering practice. Because it's kind of like, it's like a Zaku combined with a Sherman tank. And so I think it'd be a really, really good starting point for like weathering practice, like getting like those bags on its chest weathered, getting like that paint chipping look that you do with weathering, like dry brushing. I feel like that would look really good on it. Ooh. So I have no idea when we do that, mind you. I just realized that would be a really good thing to start with weathering practice, so that's why I bought it. Yeah, the Man Roadie. The Man Roadie, the fattest of the Zaku light, the fattest of the alternate Zaku designs. Ooh. Let's see here, N. Oh god. I really want to keep the Zaku sides. I keep calling it the Psycho Zaku or the Zaku Psycho, even though it's a Gundam. I don't know why I keep doing that. But I really want to keep the box for this, even though the box is so massive and I have nowhere to keep the box. I really want to keep the box, though. You know what? I think the Nightingale box might still be bigger. Sorry, I was saying I think the Nightingale box might still be bigger, which is insane to think about because this is such a big kit. But the Nightingale box might still be bigger than it. It's either bigger or the same size. Ooh, give it a booster. Also, welcome Zaza, and welcome Ivan. Hello, hello. See here. Here's the N. Here's another N. I was thinking about how we're playing Digimon tomorrow, because that's what you guys voted for. Pretty, I want to say overwhelmingly, but it's not like, you know, there was like all that many votes. But pretty decidedly, you guys voted for Digimon. And I don't know the last time I've actually played a Digimon game. Hold up, I have to look away. Don't be naughty. Luckily, we're dealing with very... Who has bigger feet? You have bigger feet. I need... I need to do math. I need to figure out who has bigger feet, this or the Nightingale. Dumb question. Is Manland Roadie a GM in Iron-Blooded Orphans, as well as just a replaced legs with it? I think it's still a Zaku-like. I know they did a paint job, but it's still a Zaku-like. Ooh. Hold up, I want to make sure I'm not getting the wrong kit. So GQ Dom box. Oh god, that my brightness is really low on my phone, so that looked bad. GQ Dom. Because right now I'm thinking of the Brondock or whatever it's called. And I'm like, that's not. That's not. Ooh. God, there's just so many kits. I don't know how you guys keep track of all the like all the mobile suits in like all the Gundam universes, because it's just because I see Dom box and I think of Brondock. I think of the Brondock. Ooh. Oh, okay, that's the Dom. I didn't know it was okay. Ooh. Actually, I really want to get. If I don't see the, actually, I'm really happy you related that, because if I don't see the Dom when I go to the big city, ooh, I'm going to the big city this weekend to see family. If I don't see the Dom there, I'm probably gonna order it online. Thank you for reminding me of that. Yeah, Digimon, the new Digimon that cost $70, and I was like, oh god, the mistakes I made. Oh no, more money. The real horror this month has been how much money I have spent on stuff. Oh my god. Oh, you don't even know all the things I've had to buy. This was supposed to be a cheap month, but then, oh my god. Good thing I didn't buy that extra stuff from P Bandai. Oh, good thing I didn't do that. Yeah, I don't even remember how long it's been since I've played Digimon. That's how long it's been. Ooh, like I couldn't tell you for the life of me. I know I've played a Digimon, but it's just been so long. Ooh. It is the GM ground type color. That is a good point, but it's still a Zaku. A lot of the things in Iron-Blooded Orphans likes to play with your perception, so they like want to make you think that the Tekkaden is like the good guys, that they're the, you know, like that they're not the Zeon of this universe. But it's all a smokescreen, it's all a lie. Wow, there's a lot of panel lining I could have done and I just didn't on the bottom of these feet. That's a shame. I'm not gonna do it now. I'll do it probably in the future. That means never. Still looking for the land roadie legs with the man. Ooh. Oh man, they haven't reissued that one. Kind of weird because they reissued a bunch of Iron-Blooded Orphan kits recently. They did quite a few reprints recently. That's how I got my Sigrun, actually. Actually, wait, was Sigrun a new print or was it a reprint? I can't quite remember. But there were reprints with it. Which Dom? The Black Tri-Stars Dom from from GQ. Am I even cutting off the right piece right now? What am I doing here? What's? I'm just started cutting. This is not the right piece. Okay, let's not make that mistake. let's just correct that. Yeah, I do have the command space type, and that's going to be on the next poll. Ooh. I was kind of so excited for getting it that I just was like, you know what, next poll? Because after, I think for the first time in like 2 years, I have, well actually the first time probably ever, since starting polls, I have enough gyms and gym likes together to make a gym poll. Ooh. I'm not a very big GM fan, but I am happy that I can finally make a GM poll. So it's gonna be 2 GM types and 2 GM likes from AUs. Is it not P Bandai? I thought that was, oh, you mean the Chalia Bowl version? If you're talking about the blue one, I think. I thought that was, thing is like P Bandai, like all of the GQ kits first release on P Bandai, then they have the public, like all the pre-orders go through P Bandai if you order through Bandai. So like, I don't know which things are P Bandai and which things aren't. I'm really genuinely confused as to which ones are which. The villain, I love how the Iron-Blooded Orphans mobile armor is just a dragon. It's literally just a dragon, which like gives Tekkadan their like final like huzzah that like, yeah, they like stopped the dragon and saved the day, but then at the same time you realize, yeah, but they're the ones who like pulled the dragon's tail. They're the ones who caused the devastation and travesty to begin with, because they didn't know where to stop. And then that whole thing is just a prelude to like where the rest of the season goes. You're like, yeah, they did it, and then you realize, oh, this is foreshadowing for like, they're gonna keep pulling the dragon's tail until the dragon is too big for them to kill. Oh, oh no. The White Dingo, I saw that one. I considered getting it. I think the White Dingo was like the gym sniper. I considered getting it, but again, like, I'm just not a massive gym guy. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, one moment. Sorry, lost my head for a moment there. Ooh. What? Okay, and this goes on like this. And then this goes on like this. There we go. One of the craziest parts of this kit has to be the color separation compared to the older kit. Like, the older kit, for its time, didn't have the worst color separation, but you can still just feel the difference. Well, that's the thing, like, you said, like, what if Tekkadan wins and retires? How can they retire? They don't know anything else. They're all, like, all of them are, like, under 21 years old. Like, they're not gonna be like, oh, let's retire now they were 20. No, they're gonna be like, let's keep going. They're gonna make the same mistakes that, they were already making the same mistakes as Zeon, where they had multiple outs, where they could have just quit while they were ahead. But they're like, no, we're winning. We're just gonna keep winning regardless. It's like Giran in Gundam The Origin, which has its flaws. One thing that they captured really well in Gundam The Origin is how Giran just keeps going, okay, like, yeah, we could stop Dad, but we could keep going. Like, we could conquer the Earth. Like, you know, it's just like we literally have an out. We could end the war right now and just negotiate a peace treaty and get independence. But then Giran's like, yeah, or we could conquer Earth. And you just think, that's not really smart in the grand scheme of things. Just like the guy in Iron-Blooded Orphans who's like, if I get the ball Gundam, then I win. And he gets in the ball Gundam and he's like, okay, everyone, I win because I'm in the biggest, like, I'm in the Gundam Mark 0. And then the bad guy just goes, no, that's stupid. You're stupid. Fire war crimes at him. And then they start firing war crimes at him. And they're like, oh no. Like, we might have made a mistake. Let's see here. That's probably my favorite part in Iron-Blooded Orphans Season 2, is just when the bad guy just goes, is just when the bad guy starts going like, just commit war crimes. These people have nobody's gonna believe that they didn't commit the war crimes. Do a false flag, and then once we do the false flag, everyone will be like, okay, it's okay. Like, they committed the war crimes first, so it's okay that you did it. Because these people, the whole first season, they're just committing war crimes. Nobody's gonna question that they were committing more war crimes. So, do a false flag, and then end their entire career. And that's what they do. One moment, I seem to have misplaced. I seem to have, there's some pieces I accidentally cut off early. I appear to have misplaced them. It's these pieces right here. Oops, sorry for hitting the camera. These pieces right here. Ooh, I'll look at that as soon as I find... As soon as I find what I'm looking for. Ah! I don't know how you got in there. I found them. They were in the spare parts bin. Ooh, which is somewhat smart of me. Thank you, past self, for having foresight. Let's look at that. But I was thinking before stream, like, what is the appeal of crazy women in Gundam? Ooh. And part of the appeal is, like, you genuinely don't know what they're gonna do. You know, you don't know, like, what the writer's gonna do with them. Like, I did not see Lady Une having multiple personality disorder coming. I didn't see, like, a 12-year... He wasn't 12, but Troa, who's, like... I don't know how old Troa is, but he's at most, like, 16 years old, at absolute most. He has one conversation with her and breaks her entire, like, worldview and philosophy, which makes her go more crazy. I didn't see that coming. Ooh. You know, in Victory Gundam... I saw a picture where Kate, I don't know, I can't pronounce that name, so I'm just gonna call her Kate, where Kate stabs a 12-year-old in the kidney. That was a coincidental whoa, but yeah, like who stabs, like, it says like, who stabs a child in the kidney? I don't, and when that happens, I'm gonna be surprised, even though I've already seen the pictures. I'm gonna be surprised and be like, oh my god, she just stabbed that little 12-year-old in the kidney. Season 1, the 7-star family do control the media and step up whole plot of the colony rebellion, making them look like the terrorist group from the... But in reality, they were not. Oh, shit. I messed up my left from my right. That definitely doesn't help, yeah, that the people who had control of the media made them look worse, but ooh, they weren't terrorists, but the problem is they weren't really making the best... They weren't really, like, making the best argument for themselves, because, again, every time somebody would come up to them and be like, hey, fight me in honorable combat, they would just be like, no, and just kill the person straight out, or, you know, like, that's what I mean by war crime. Like, not that they were, like, blowing up orphanages, but like they were just all the traditions in the world that were made to stop like mass battles and stop things from like hurting like the common person, stop battles from getting into cities and whatnot. They broke every like tradition in they broke every tradition in the world of iron-blooded orphans. And so when it came time to false flag them, everyone could just believe, yeah, they just went that final step. They just went that further step. Ooh. Even though they didn't. Victory Gundam is brutal. All those beautiful beauty pilots in... oh god. I know, like, Victory Gundam is supposed to be, like, one of the darkest Gundams. And, like, it's made to feel even darker because the main character is, as I've been saying, like, 12 years old. There's, like, a scene where a dude, like, fights off the main character, and then he sees, like, he's fighting him, and then, like, they both get out of their mobile suit, and the guy just sees, like, the main character's 12 years old, and he just starts crying, because he's like... oh my god, I've been fighting with a 12-year-old. Oh my god. Like, this is a child. He should be playing with, like, toy trains and whatnot. Why is he on the battlefield? Like, what is going on? Like, the guy literally just has a full-on mental breakdown in the middle of the scene. It's just like, oh shit. He's just like, oh, like, he just, like, understands all the horrors of war in that moment and just fully has a mental breakdown. I have also seen that scene. I've seen when the like women try to like when all the women in the bikinis just get vaporized, which is also horrific. So in all honesty, I feel like the woman who got vaporized got off easy because like that death was probably instantaneous. Meanwhile, like one woman just gets batted away, like just batted away like a fly. She just gets backhanded by like a 16-meter mobile suit and just dies instantly on contact. It's like a car hitting you. Just bam, just gets backhanded, and it's just like, oh my god. She felt every bone in her body break and then died. And like the main character is like the one doing it, and he's like horrified at every turn. He's like, hey, get away from me, stop trying to damage my mobile suit, and he has to defend himself. And each one he kills, it like he goes like, oh my god, I just killed it. Oh no, like stop, I don't want to kill you. Just like, and he tries to push him away. And again, he's in a giant robot, so when he tries to push them away, he just crushes every bone in their body. And he just keeps like, it just keeps happening. And it's just like, in context, it's like, this is horrific. But like, as somebody who just, I love when Gundam gets really dark. I'm sitting here just like, oh, that's horrific as hell. I need to watch Victory. I actually am a little upset that I have to watch other things before Bikini Operation. If it's called Operation Bikini, that's amazing in universe. I don't know if it is, but that would be remarkable. Actually, I just reread chat and I need to get to... Thank you, Twitter. Thank you, Twitter. What did I accidentally open Twitter instead? Oh, I just saw the word sex, but it was like, name one thing better than sex. Good hush puppies. Ooh. Unironically, good hush puppies. Amazing. J? That's L. Ah, J. Okay, here's J. I couldn't remember J, but I was pretty sure it's one of the gray parts. J7, J2. Okay. Gunpla models. That's not half bad. It's pretty clean. The GM from like Iron Blooded Orphans. It's very very GM. Like it's. Ooh. It kind of feels more like a GM built in the style of Iron Blooded Orphans rather than like Iron Blooded Orphans' take on a GM. I'll say that. That's not a criticism, that's just an observation. And what I mean by that is like Iron Blooded Orphans likes to stylize their stuff, so I feel like it'd probably be more stylized, like say the Sigrun, for example. But it is really nice. I love what they did with the proportions. I love how it has that like small waist. That's actually a really good custom, in all honesty. I see that they gave it the... Is that the Gundam? I think that's the Land Gundam's gun for its gun. That's a little redundant. They need Gundam Operation Doomsday. I don't know why, but when you said that, I thought of like Dr. Doom piloting a Gundam, piloting a mobile suit, and his mobile suit would just have his mask on it. His mobile suit, you wouldn't even be able to tell what his mobile suit looked like. His mobile suit would just be a giant version of him. It would just be his power armor just scaled up to like mobile suit size, made a little more angular, and it would just have his mask. And then it would have a little V on it. It would have like the little victory antenna on it. Ooh. That was actually very easy to imagine what Dr. Doom's mobile suit would look like, because the character is such an egotist. He'd be like, I'm perfect, therefore the perfect design for a mobile suit would just be me. I don't recognize the backpack, but the top of the calves are definitely from the one of the Barbatoses, I think. Maybe the Lupus? Either the Lupus or Lupus Rex, I think the top of the calves. There's a lot going on with this kit. Ooh, I cannot recognize everything in it. Like, some parts are definitely from Iron-Blooded Orphans, like the arms, the back of the legs, but then, like, he blends everything together. Whoever made this blended everything together really well, I have to say. You went to Vietnam? And it was, weird. Some of the stuff there was selling, were stupidly expensive, but some were really cheap. That is weird. You would expect, like, either the markup to be consistent, in either direction. The markup or markdown. Ooh. Maybe it's just, some of the stuff they got recently and other stuff well, actually, it might be the opposite. The cheaper stuff might be the stuff that they've had for a while the higher stuff might be the newer products. I don't know. If it's a GM command type, which actually looks more like it's kind of a GM command feeling to it, maybe, but if it's like a GM... oh, God. I know the GM is technically, like, better than the Zaku, like, stats-wise, to my understanding. I've never had that confirmed, but everything I've heard is it's technically better than the Zaku 2. But, like, it don't feel better than the Zaku 2. Or at least it's not used in consideration of, like, it being better. It was used in, like, it's really the tactics. So the GM is not a bad mobile suit. It's just that it was used in, like, throw at enemy. We have more soldiers than they have. Okay, we can lose soldiers at like a 2-to-1 ratio and still be ahead. The Federation was kind of messed up. Yeah, the head is, yeah, okay, I was pretty sure the head was a GM command, but I don't want to say for certain. Hold up, I need to blow my nose. Don't know if I have a tip. Okay. 1 second. It's interesting because the more I look at it, the more I appreciate how he modified things, because the vents are also angled, which isn't typical for a GM from the 1-year war period, at least. Like and when I say angled, I mean like they seem to be angled downwards, like the outside seems to be higher than the inside, and forward. So I'm not quite sure how he did that, if that was a pre-existing piece or he made that custom. The shield appears to be a ground type Gundam, but that's also looks to be a little customized. It looks like he might have rounded off the ground type Gundam shield, because I'm pretty sure it has more. It's like I'm pretty sure like the end of the shield more like this is the edge, and then it kind of goes like this for like the end for the edge of it. Oh, I'm sorry. Hello, Ellie. I didn't see you there. How's the day going? Just followed on X. Get your follow back. Ooh. Well, that's a little rude to be so forward like that, in all honesty. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, so that's one of my brother was the first one to introduce me to that. It is the M4 Sherman philosophy of just like, it's not a bad, like the M4 Sherman wasn't a bad tank, but it wasn't much compared to the Tiger tank. Like the Tiger tank looks literally like a prototype for modern tanks. Ooh. But the Sherman, it doesn't matter because like, because you could have like, for every Tiger, you could have like 4 Shermans. And yeah, the Tiger could take out 2 of the Shermans, but like, those other 2 could get behind it and shoot out its rear, and it's like, and win. Ooh. It's like, it's kind of cruel in like a logistical sense, but like, we got more than you. Like, you literally can't beat us. Like, we just have more, and they're efficient enough where we can just outmaneuver you if we need to. Yeah, the GM stated to be like 10% weaker than the Gundam in the terms of performance. And if it's only 10% weaker than the Gundam, that's really good, because the Gundam, I know it's the Federation's first mobile suit, but the Gundam is like pretty good overall. And not only that, but I know like certain gym like customs were considered as good, if not better, than the Gundam. I don't remember if the gym customs I'm thinking of were late war or post-war variants, but like, I mean, before the end of the war, the Federation was able to make better suits than the Gundam. I mean, an example of this would be the Gundam Alex at the very least. The Gundam Alex was like leagues better than the Gundam. Like a lot of times people say if the Gundam Alex had gotten to Amuro, Char just would have died in the final battle. Ooh. It was like, really what made the Gundam so good was its armor, combined with the fact that Amuro was one of the first like active new type pilots in the Federation, so he just had a head start on everyone on having hacks effectively. Zeon sends out children as last resort. Oh my god, that's horrible. Federation, put out the kids first. We want to preserve our ace pilots. It's messed up, but it worked. It's the worst part. Zeon lost all of, like, not all of them, but lost a lot of their ace pilots because, you know, they didn't want to do human children shield tactics. Federation, without hesitation, just went like, the children will make perfect human shields for our ace pilots. Like the Federation, what I like is like low-key evil. It like possibly more evil than Zeon. But we don't. But it's not as obvious. Zeon has their big soaring speeches and like literally is like raising their fists and like, I mean, friggin'. The zombies don't make themselves look very good, in all honesty. They have like a Skeletor castle as like their home base. But then the Federation, like, they're just evil because they're just like, what's that? We can just save manpower by like recruiting children and having them go on the front lines? Okay, let's do it. It's just so casual. You know, it's not as big as dropping a colony on Earth, but it's horrible. Oh. I was wondering where the backpack was from. Okay. Ooh. I was just seeing the prices you were talking about, Ricey. M4 is easy to produce, maintain, repair, and replace changing equipment, also based on data from the Amuro data collection, and it... What? Yeah, that's also true, because of, because Amuro literally had all those recordings from all those battles when they just used all the data that Amuro collected, and it was just like, yeah, this is gonna be really good just to train people to pilot the, dim. There's the other piece I need. Okay. Yeah, ooh. I don't think I ever finished. You bringing up the Augo, which is the Zeon ball, which is more of a cylinder itself. But it's pretty much like what the ball was to the Federation. But I don't think I ever finished that Gundam Facts video, now that you bring it up. I need to watch MS Igloo. I'm not really sure when I'd fit in MS Igloo, because chronologically I already passed by it, technically. Ooh. One of those, like, The OVAs are kind of harder to fit in because the OVAs, I kind of like have already passed by a lot of the 1 Year War OVAs, so I'm not really. I should just watch them when I have free time because they're OVAs. They're not that long, typically. Some of them are a bit longer. Emma's technology gap is very intentional, as Tomino specifically stated. They've focused on the trope of bad guys are numerous and weak. That is kind of how it is, like, especially in later series. I'm gonna take a drink. Just realized we have two NT Gundams, the Alex NT Gundam, while the narrative is also an NT. Oh. That is nice cherry soda. Ah. I just cut the, that was the tip of my glove. I just had a little bit of my father moment. Oh my, that felt, I don't know why, this part in particular feels really satisfying to put together. I guess it's just simple and quick to do, but something about that felt really satisfying. And then, oh, I'm not even, okay, that's kind of weird. So I'm then supposed to put this on, then I put on the thing I just assembled. I wonder what, like, a lot of the crazy Gundam would be, sorry, crazy Gundam women, what they would be if they weren't, like, doing war stuff. Ooh. I feel like Chara would be, like, an adrenaline junkie, but, like, at the same time, like a loving wife and mother or something. Like, one of those kind of, like, conflicting things. Lady Un would just be, like, a diplomat. I don't know anything about Kate. She might just be preset to be insane. I don't know. She might still be stabbing children in the kidneys for all I know. I haven't watched I haven't gotten to Victory Gundam yet. She might just be unsalvageable. But, like, the crazy Gundam women, Flay included and Relina, like, they're not, well, Relina wasn't meant to be crazy Gundam women, but, like, it's very much, like, obvious that the circumstances they're in is what makes them so, like, crazy. That if they weren't, like, soldiers, they'd just be normal people, probably. Chara would still be a little bit of a freak, but you know what I mean. The narrative move, I don't know if I've heard any. Narrative isn't like Seed. Seed, it's like this 50-50 where people are like this, like, it's good, and other people are like, it's a travesty. Narrative seems to be universally like, yeah, that's something that happened. It's almost like it doesn't feel this bad, but it almost feels as bad as Dark Forces. And if you don't know what Dark Forces is, sorry, Dark Empire. If you don't know what Dark Forces is, a video game. But Star Wars Dark Empire is when Palpatine gets resurrected, and nobody in Star Wars talks about it because, like, that was a really bad idea, you know? One of the biggest things, because everyone's just like, well, that kind of undermines Darth Vader's sacrifice, doesn't it? That Palpatine just comes back possessing a new, younger body, and he's even more powerful, and instead of having an impractical space station that destroys, like, planets, he now has a super Star Destroyer that can take on entire fleets by itself and has a super laser that can destroy capital ships in one shot. Like, you literally gave, like, you kind of made his death, like, you kind of undermined his death. And then somehow Disney made it worse because they're like, ah, yes, we also brought Palpatine back. Oh my god, that's stupid. Don't worry, we didn't give him a super Star Destroyer, like, with a super laser. Okay. We gave him millions of super Star Destroyers with super lasers. How? And all of them can destroy a planet. It's amazing how Disney saw the one thing everyone agrees upon was the worst idea in the expanded universe. And that's the one idea that they take from the expanded universe. That's how. They're like, oh, what's this idea of like, you know, like Jason and Jaina solo? You know, what's this idea? No, that's boring. One of the solos being drawn to the dark side and then his sister having to kill him to like literally stop the galaxy from going into yet another civil war. Nah, that's boring. Ooh. Boba Fett having one of the best being one of the best characters in Star Wars? No, we're gonna make him one of the worst characters. Oh my God. We're gonna make him a good guy, actually, instead of like chaotic neutral. Ooh, and like having his own like life story where he makes mistakes. Now he's just a misunderstood good guy. That's what you always thought whenever you saw Boba Fett, was he's a misunderstood good guy, right? And when I say misunderstood good guy, I don't mean like cowboy western, oh hey, he's not so bad. I mean like, no, he's just a good guy and we just had the story wrong. Why do they make bad decisions? Why are they drawn to making the worst decisions? Ooh. You know, honestly though, for narrative, I've just never heard a good thing about it. So like, part of me is just like, should I skip it? Probably not. But like, part of me is just like, I mean, would I be missing out on much if I skipped it? Probably also not. Oh, what's worst idea? I'm gonna cross over and over there. You can do that, Cave. You can do that, Cave, but right now my monitor is set up in a way where the microphone is actually blocking Twitch chat, so it might be hard to see you in all honesty from how my setup is right now. Which is ironic, because this setup is supposed to make it so I can read Twitch chat more easily, but I've moved things around in such a way, there we go, where I accidentally had a Twitch chat blocked. You're no longer blocked now. I can read both of you. Jay? 13 and 14. Turn this microphone a little. That's a lot better. I don't know why it took me so long to realize if it's creating a horrible glare when the light is right here, which it's not too bad right now, but if I had like something out, you could, if I brought my phone out, you could see like how the reflection was bad. But just throw it over here and put it at an angle. That's a lot better. And also, when it's right here, the light is like obscuring me from the camera, causing my tracking to not be as good. But now that's better. Ooh. Hello, guys. Welcome back to YouTube. Actually, I think this might be your first time on YouTube for this stream, so I guess welcome. Ba-da-ba. 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 And the other was disassembled and build other mobile suits. In narrative, another Sinanju somehow appears. I know the Sinanju Stein was supposed to be like the prototype, and that's the explanation. Yeah. Well, like, but like, how, from what I hear is like they made the Char clone crazy, like he's a failed clone or something. Like he's a literal like clone of Char, but he's like a failed clone, which is just like we made full, what is it, like, it's not full Nelson, it's not full frontal. I'm gonna call him full Nelson though, because full Nelson sounds funnier. We took full Nelson but made him we took full Nelson but made him gay and lame, and it's like, why would you do that? Well, we don't really know why, actually. We made him an edgy crazy boy. We thought maybe the Fujoshis would like it. They didn't. And the Fujoshis like everything. How did you fuck that up? Oh, metallic coating kits, yeah. It sounds like a good idea, but the thing is that, like, if they're not undergated, you just have a bunch of sprue marks you can never get rid of. Because if you try to sand away the sprue marks, well, you can't. You can't because you'll sand away the metallic coating. Here's a curse knowledge since... Okay, there we go. Since we're on the topic of crazies, Tomina started designs women characters from the vaginas. I was like, why did he bring up Quattro? You weren't bringing up Quattro. You were censoring yourself. That can't be true. But at the same time, Tomino's kind of a mad lad. That might be true. He is a Joker Char clone, but he's like a Jared Letterman. Jared Letterman, fucking. He's a Jared Leto Char clone, though. He's not like a Joaquin Phoenix Joker 1 Char clone. You know, which actually would work if you think about it. Ooh. But no, he's a Jared Leto. He has tattoos on his forehead. He does have tattoos on his face though, doesn't he? Wait a minute. Does he have like wait a minute. Gundam narrative Char clone. He does have face tattoos. Oh my god. He is Jared Leto. Oh my god. You can't see it because he has bangs, but I'm willing to bet if you lifted up his bangs, it would say damaged on his forehead. Oh. He's trying so hard. He has a side shave. Oh, he's trying so hard. It's so sad to look at. It's kind of sad because, like, from everything I've heard about his character, looking at his character is everything I would expect from his character, and that's a bad thing. Okay, so that's a good way to put it. For Gundam Unicorn, where the Earth Special Forces aren't trying to overthrow the Federation, and the AU is actually like a revolutionary terroristic group. That's actually not a bad way to describe it from what I know of it. Yeah. Ooh, undergated, because a lot of times what they do for metal coated kits is they just take pre-existing kits, and a lot of times the kits themselves are old, so they'll take pre-existing kits that already have bad gating and then just spray over top of them. And very rarely is it either a kit that's newer or a kit that's naturally undergated, like it's customed. It's that it actually works out all that well. So if it's metallic kits, I just avoid them completely, but you should definitely look up kits before you buy them. There's been plenty of times where I've just looked up a kit, like a kit review at the store, put in my headphones and just listen to it for 5 minutes to see what, like, if I should buy this thing. Plenty of old kits that you should be cautious about, like the high grade Alex, the master grade Alex. From what I understand, the 2.0. I think it's the 2.0. I have it. From what all I've heard about it is really good. I haven't built it yet, but the high grade is just, it's old and disappointing. And you need to be cautious. But sometimes old kits, like the Gelgoog, which is like really old, but the Gelgoog, really satisfying. You're not going to be blown away by it, but you're going to be pretty satisfied after building it, in all honesty. From when I built it, at least, I was pretty satisfied. So sometimes, like, the older kits, you can be pleasantly surprised by. You can see maybe he wasn't joking. There's a lot of pink mobile suits, though, and in fairness, there's a lot of pink mobile suits, because that's what it is. Gotralan. Oh wow, that's the first thing that came up. That's a nice mobile suit, actually. It's red and pink. Ooh. Actually, not that bad. Oh, well, actually, I was gonna I wouldn't mind having a one of those, but then I realized it'd probably have to be a 1/100 scale because it's probably 15 meters tall or something. Because late UC, yeah, it's only 16 meters tall, yeah. That's kind of the sad thing about the late UCs. All the mobile suits are so small that it's kind of not worth getting high grades of them. I know some people are like, oh, I really love the high grade F91. And the high grade F91 is a fun boy. But if you have the choice between getting the F91 high grade and the master grade, or just the master grade, you're not gonna be missing out on all that much if you just get the master grade. Not to say if you're dead set on getting both, get both. Ooh. It's fun to have that little high grade kit because he's so tiny and he's adorable. But it's not a kit to lose sleep over if you miss out on getting it. The high grade, that is. Ooh. The Psycho Gundam Mark II I like. The Mark I I felt was... It's literally just... It kind of depends how I appreciate it. And design-wise, it's just a giant Gundam. But what it's supposed to be is the Zeong. It's a perfect Zeong, but with a Gundam outer shell is what the Psycho Gundam Mark I is. And when I remember that, I like it. I like it more when I remember that. The movie is just depressing after the hopeful unicorn ending. Basically a reverse of Double Zeta without the charm. That's so unicorn ends hopefully, while say Zeta Gundam ends incredibly depressingly. But then you have Double Zeta Gundam, which comes in and you're you know what? Maybe things will be alright. But then you have Narrative, which is no. This is Gundam. Everything will be terrible after Aww. Maybe I might hold off on it. I might just go in that case Unicorn straight to Victory Gundam. You might be what about F91? I'll watch F91 before Narrative in that case. Ooh. Actually, it might be Unicorn F91 Victory. Then, as weird as this might sound, Narrative, then read the manga. Then I need to rewatch Stardust Memories and whatnot. I need to rewatch a bunch of OVAs I haven't watched in years. Posted a pic in Discord. Also need to put all those 40 small thrusters after this to build... Oh my god, this is a... How... This is a Saikamu unit, and I'm just, the moment you said all the thrusters, I was like, oh my god, how are we doing the funnel weapons? Is it just are they fully assembled, or do I have to assemble the funnel weapons, the funnels? Oh no. That's not too bad. Ooh. It's a high mobility. Oh no, it's a where the hell did you get a Psycho? I didn't even know they made a Psycho Zaku. It looks like it's a high grade Psycho Zaku metallic paint job, which I did not know that was even a thing. It's a newer kit, so you're better off than if it was super old. I'll give you that. I thought you got the new Gundam metallic or something, where I know there's some pretty ugly there's pretty ugly marks on that one. It is kind of like that. I would agree with that, actually. It is a bit like the Goof versus the Goof custom. The Goof is a little goofy. It's the fact that it's snout. It's it has a little bit of a longer snout, and it makes it a little bit goofier. And I don't want to cast shade on the Goof, but the Goof custom, They just touch up the proportions and make it that little bit cleaner. Oh, it do be like that. It does kind of feel like in Zeta Gundam, they were like, yeah, we didn't really cook with the Psycho Gundam. Like, we kind of like, we're just banking on the fact that it's a really big Gundam. You know what, let's like redesign it and have it appear in the finale again, and like with a completely new design that's way more menacing. Yeah, let's do that. That's... It does kind of feel like they did that. Because if they wanted to, they could have just done what they did in Double Zeta Gundam and just rebuilt the Psycho Gundam Mark II. Because in Zeta Gundam, they just rebuild the Zeta, they just rebuild the Mark II. Because they're like, yeah, this is a good design. And then they make it better at the finale, make the Queen Monza. And then the Queen Monza does absolutely nothing. Which has me so conflicted, because the Queen Monza is my favorite version of the Psycho Gundam, because it looks so good. It is literally like the Queen Monza is the inspiration for the Kshatriya, and it looks so good, but it does absolutely nothing. All it does is Glemmy sucks and dies inside of it. The most important thing that happens is it, I don't even know if it, does it even fight? I don't even know if it really even fights, or if you can constitute what happens with it as a fight. I don't even know. Never asked Peace Lover what his Gundam loadout is. Ooh. Well, the whole point of Gundam for like promoting peace is the fact that Gundam itself isn't a lesson on like, is a lesson on what not to do. A lot of Gundam. Ooh. Like, Char, for example, is just like, oh hey, what if you just made all the wrong choices? And it's just like, well, that's kind of depressing. It's like, it's kind of all that like there is to it. Sorry, that sounds like I'm simplifying it. When I say all there is to it, I don't mean like there's not more substance to it. What I mean is like, it's just like, what I mean is it's all that, like, all there is to going the wrong way is your choices. If you just like doing the wrong thing repeatedly. Not speaking like that's all there is to it. Like whole Gundam. Gundam has a lot more depth than just one point to it. Oh, that's annoying. I'm not saying the original goof looks bad. I never said that. I said it looked a little goofy with its snoot because it's a little long, but I didn't say it looked bad. It looks a little funny in some of the animation stills where he's a wide boy, because some of the animation in the original Gundam is not the best. But the goof custom is that little bit cleaner. Ooh. It's kind of like you know what, I feel like here's a better example. It's like the original Gundam from the original animation versus Gundam the Origin Gundam. You know, where it's just cleaner, more consistent art style, and that little bit fresher. Ooh. Unicorn to Hathaway's Flash to F91 to Victory. Shit, does Unicorn take place before Hathaway? Have I already messed up? Wait a minute. Oh, shit. Did I already mess up? Oh, did I? Oh, I thought Unicorn was after Hathaway. Did I already mess up? Oh, what's the point of watching this crap chronologically if I already messed up? Damn it. Ah. It is, isn't it? Because Hathaway's like 13 years after, and there's no way Unicorn is 13 years after. Ah, crap. You're right. Ah, damn it. I messed up. I mean, you can just look at the designs for the Queen Monza. It has literally the wing things that the Kshatriya has is effectively just taken from the Queen Monza. Like, the Kshatriya is just a downsized, Zaku-fied Queen Monza in many respects. With even more fin funnels, which is insane. Glemmy! Here. Are you talking about slander? I will not accept Glemmy slander, because Glemmy fumbled and just tripped over himself as one of, if not the first Char clone. He's the prototype Char clone. He is a complete piece of shit. However, he stumbled so Zex Marquis could fly, okay? He fell over himself so all the other Char clones could know what not to do. And what do you not do? Chase a woman your entire freaking career. Oh god, there's this woman I saw one time. Ah, god, you think I can bone her? Hey baby, you're really hot. I have no interest in you. Ah, damn it. That's Glemmy half of Double Zeta Gundam. He's just chasing after Rose for no apparent reason. And then he locks in at the end, but at that point you're like, Glemmy, you were chasing tail like this entire series. I can't take you seriously. But if it wasn't for his failures, the other Char clones wouldn't know what to avoid. Glemmy is important. Ooh. It's like, there's actually a crazy Gundam woman who's like a prototype for crazy Gundam women, who's not very well written, who had... Oh, it's like Quest. Quest isn't the first crazy Gundam woman, but everyone hates Quest, so everyone's just like, okay, see, that's what we need to avoid in our Gundam women. Don't make another Quest. Okay? I'm not defending Quest when I say this. I'll defend Glemmy, but I'm not defending Quest. But Quest face planted so everyone else knew, okay, let's not do that again. Queen Monza Door Gundam? Ooh. Oh, does that also happen to the Door Gundam where it's just like, this is this really cool thing that's built up and then it's just like, we're not gonna do anything with it. It's just like more of a set piece than anything. Like, the Queen... Oh, I just put in Door Monza like an idiot. Door Gundam. We've looked up the Door Gundam before, so why can't I remember what it looks like? Ah, yeah, it's like, God, it has even more going on. It's like a super... Kind of looks like a super Moon Gundam. It looks like a full Moon Gundam is how I would describe it. Or a new Moon Gundam, because it's all black, technically. I like how the new moon, a lot of times, it's not even the fact that the moon's not in the night sky, it's just that there's no light reflecting off of it. But a lot of times you can look up into the sky and you just have to find the one spot in the sky that's pitch black and perfectly circle, and you're like, oh, there's the moon. Queen Monza is honestly pretty worthless. Mobile suit, it literally gets killed. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't do anything, but it looks so good. Like, I'm not saying that it's like, it does nothing. It does nothing. Puru goes like, you know what? You know, I kind of want to be a child. I don't want to be a war. I don't want to be like I don't want to be a child soldier. I just want to be a child. You know? But it looks so good. And then Glemmy dies in it. Then Glemmy lived like a bitch and died like a bitch. No slander, though. Unicorn is 3 years after Counterattack Hathaway. Yeah. Oh, I thought Hathaway... Why did I think Hathaway is 13? Wait, how did I get the number? Well, I mean, 13 is really close to 12, but maybe... I was thinking of a baker's dozen. Why is a baker dozen's... Wait, why is a baker dozen's 13? Actually, that's a different question. Why the hell is a baker's dozen 13? Can bakers not count? An F90 couldn't kill the single mobile suit, and it gets beheaded by the F90 in one hit. Wait, the Queen Monza is in F90? How the hell did the Queen Monza get there? That's also really disappointing that they're like, oh, here's the Queen Monza, it's gonna finally do something, and then it's one of those things where it's like, ah, just kidding, it's the old thing. Like, we only put this in this story so you can see how much things have progressed and how outdated old super weapons were. No, don't do that. That's lame. That's like that's like in the Predator when they, like, you know, had a bigger Predator kill the where they have like a bigger, like 8-foot tall version of the Predator kill the classic Predator to show that this new CGI Predator is even bigger and stronger than the old No! Do not destroy the old thing to tell me that the new thing is cool. That's lazy. Just show me the new thing is cool. They're all PDFs. Ooh. Oh god. If Tomino did it, I mean, Tomino, what the fuck? I expected you better. I expected better of you. Honestly, feel bad for Quest. She was written to be hated and abused by basically every adult. That's true. That's true. Just like how Char was written to make the wrong choices constantly. Well, not constantly, but like be the person who made the wrong decisions to get to where he is. Quest was also kind of written like that, and to be like victim, and like really she's groomed and victimized by the adults around her. But she doesn't have all the sympathy that like Char built up. Char has like 2 series of like, he has like Gundam, he has the original series in Zeta Gundam, where we can fall back on and understand how he got here. Quest, we don't have all of that. We don't have all of that context. So we just kind of see her for what she is in the story. And we don't have as much sympathy for her because of it. It's kind of a shame, really, when you bring that up, to be honest. And it is kind of sad for her character on a meta level, even on a narrative level. Moon, yeah. Kind of weird how Double Zeta Gundam was. It's like, yeah, here's a colony that like became Amish people. It was like one of the first colonies ever built, and it's just filled with like a cult. That was weird. And then in Moon Gundam, they're like, we're gonna make this relevant again, and it's like, we are? Okay then. Door Gundam is a Psycho Gundam Mark IV. It got bloated and updated by Amuro right at the start of Moon Gundam, so... Oh, so that's why it looks like the Moon Gundam, because the parts were probably combined with the Zazabi prototype. Ooh, and that's probably where the panels came from the Moon Gundam. Psycho plates can float on the moon colony. Oh, that's neat. Ooh. So the Moon Gundam is literally just a homunculus Gundam. It's just the body of the Zazabi prototype combined with... I mean, the Moon Gundam would have technically been like a predecessor to the new Gundam in some senses. It's just an abomination, ain't it? that's all the Moon Gundam is. Ooh. Not to say I don't like them. I love the Moon Gundam's design, but if I see a high grade for that Zazabi prototype that I always forget the name of, I'm picking that thing up. Ooh. And then there's Hathaway, the ultimate Hathaway, who when he sees a better when he sees that like other woman in Hathaway's flash, he's like, man, I think I like you, but the only reason I like you is because you remind me of Quest. And it's like, Hathaway, why the hell did you ever love Quest? Like, you've had 12 years, get over her. It gets really confusing just because Hathaway's story / novel released first. In the Gundam lore, Unicorn King. Oh my god. So they had to fit between. So in that could probably get a little confusing writing wise and reading wise. That they had to. Oh, I did it correctly, thank God. But that Hathaway was made first, so it had to fit in canon with Hathaway. Unicorn did. Ooh. It's a replica. Okay. So that helps a little, but it's still I still don't like that trope. It's such an annoying fucking trope, but it being a replica helps explain at least a little bit, but yeah. Not the biggest fan. Vargrill, thank you so much. I'm gonna forget it by next stream, though. I'm gonna be real with you, chat. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna forget it again. You know, wait. Is Vargrill associated with anything? Because I remember the Sigrun, because Sigrun is associated with, well, Sigrun of Norse mythology. Vargrill... It sounds like it. Also, I also keep forgetting it's purple for some reason. Ooh, I keep thinking it's red because Zazabi. I like the fact that it's purple, though. Trivia. Give me trivia. Give me trivia. Every time I hear a doo-doo on my computer, my eyes widen, they bulge out of my head, and I'm like, did OBS just crash? No. RTX just had an update or whatever. It's like, I don't care. Why? Why is the sound for, hey, everything is going wonderfully and there are no problems? Why is that the same notification sound as, oh, hey, your computer, it just imploded, bro. Good luck. Thank you, Windows. Thank you, very cool of you that there's no discrimination between good and bad sounds. There we go. Lore behind the new Gundam is confusing and super inconsistent. That's a lot of Gundam lore. Gundam has gotten to the point where like old Star Wars let me get this. I'm doing this wrong. Old Star Wars lore has where it's just like, yeah, there's a little bit of contradictions here. Old Legends lore, it's like, yeah, you just gotta go by like whatever makes the most sense. That's probably canon, unless somebody comes along and decides they like this thing more, and then they put that into one of the shows, and then that's canon, even if it's the worst option. But it's a little confusing. NT says narrative is New Gundam's prototype in the novel. It's literally built from the damaged Psycho Doga frame from Gyune. But the Psycho Doga doesn't appear. Oh, it is a Bellatonka's Children exclusive. Oh, that's also what makes it confusing. Is like, that's one of the big things that makes it confusing, is the fact that you have the novels, including like Hathaway's and like narrative, is that those are sequels to Bellatronica's Children, or however you say that name, while everything is a sequel to Char's Counterattack in the anime form. So like Hathaway and narrative and Unicorn in animation are sequels to that. However, the manga adaptation of Char's Counterattack, Bellatronica's Children, has inconsistencies and liberties taken with it. So the story is still the same, but the minutia is different, and that's where things become very confusing. It's just one of those, it's just, there's no right answer, it feels like, at a certain point, though, with that. Because then sometimes animation Gundam series are just their own alternate timelines, not AUs, like Thunderbolt, which is kind of like in left field, I know, to bring that up, but like Thunderbolt is like its own storyline, and it's like, well, Thunderbolt never happened in the UC, but like maybe a story like Thunderbolt happened. Like there was never a Psycho Zaku, and there was never like the full armored Gundam fight in the Universal. But maybe in the Universal Century, you could interpret that there was like a Gundam and high mobility Zaku fight in like the same area or something. Like it's like we know things did not happen in Thunderbolt, did not happen in UC, but the story of Thunderbolt might have happened in UC. And what the fuck are we doing anymore? It's one of those kind of confusing situations. But then you have, like, again, Char's Counterattack, Bellatronica's Children, where it's like, these are the same story, but the details are different. You have Hathaway's Flash, where it's the same story, but the details are different. And it's just like, which details are canon? And it's like, it depends which universe it depends which timeline you're looking at. Ooh. And it would be simple. It's a mess, but it would be simple if it was just whatever is in animation is in canon with animation, and whatever is in comics or manga or books or whatever, it's never gonna be called comics, it's just manga. But whatever is like written is in canon with other written works. But that's not always true, and that's what gets annoying. It's like, It's like 90% true, but it's not 100% true, and that's where crap hits the fan. One second, I need to sand these pieces is what I need to do. Blame it on Bandai higher-ups interfering with the... Oh yeah, they've messed with... They mess with the production of everything in Gundam. I mean, we talked about that one... God, I don't remember which one. Well, there's so many examples of Bandai producers screwing over, of Sunrise and Bandai producers screwing over Sunrise and Bandai Productions, that it's actually hard for me to remember which one I'm trying to think of, but there's too many examples to pick from, actually. Bandai actually made a Thunderbolt cannon, by the way, in their museum's timeline. Or something. They said it, only TB, the first season is, that's what I mean by everything's confusing. Thunderbolt is canon. It's like, oh, fucking. But then I have to ask, what do they mean by canon? And it should just be like, well, everything you see in it happened. But did everything I see in it actually happen? Or just the story happen and then the small details might... It's just... I can't even trust Bandai going, it's canon, because I don't know what they mean by that. Narrative canon new from Psycho Doga is its own thing. Bellatron... Yeah. The Psycho Doga one I knew was from the manga, because again, the Psycho Doga doesn't exist in Char's counterattack. It's kind of inevitable when you bring on more writers that there's going to be inconsistencies like that, to be fair, though. The more writers you have, just the more that's going to happen, because even a single writer can contradict himself. Even a single writer can forget, oh, right, I wrote that. But now you have, like, now you have even 2 people, but, like, you could have, like, you know, half a dozen people in some cases, and, like, they can't keep track of all the crap that each other are doing, and... It's not even a matter of forgetting what other people have done, it's just you never knew to begin with. God, that's ugly. That's hideous. I'm happy I'm gonna be cleaning it up, but... Oh god, look at... I don't know how... Yeah, you can see how... Ugh. I always hate the first stage of sanding. How just absolutely gross it looks. Sun Tzu once said, to confuse your enemy, first confuse yourself. Did Sun Tzu literally... Did Sun Tzu literally write, hey, you know what's a really good war tactic? Just become a schizophrenic. I know what he means by that, though. Confuse yourself is be unpredictable. Ooh, is more what he's trying... It's probably what he's trying to say, but just be like, yeah, just make it so you don't even know what you're own doing, man. I know I shouldn't do the back and forth. I should be doing like this, but I'm just feeling really impatient right now. My favorite part is when you have to clean out the brush. Sorry, clean out the sandpaper, because it gets clogged up with all the paint. Oh, fucking... Problem with, like... One of the big problems with, like, Marvel and DC and whatnot is they don't know how to do multiverses. Like, what you do is you can have a multiverse, and on, like, rare... You can have a multiverse, and you can have crossovers with the multiverse, but the crossovers with the multiverse can never be in... It's gonna sound weird, but it can never be directly in canon with the primary universe. Or your universe has to be built around the multiverse from the beginning for you to do that, like Michael Moorcock's Eldrick of Melibene. But most universes are not built around a multiverse, like Elric. And so the best way to do it again is just don't have your main story be include the multiverse shenanigans, because then it gets really confusing and you don't know which universe you're keeping track of anymore. And Marvel has a primary timeline that they're like, everything is consistent in this, but then they have it interact with the other universes, which makes it get confusing. But you still know universe Earth 616 is the primary universe. That is the primary canon of Marvel, and you can know that. DC just goes, oh, it's been 10 years. They flip the table and say, new universe, we just destroyed every universe. You know that? You know DC animated universe? We destroyed that. That's no longer canon. It's gone. Everyone you knew there, they're dead. You know, it's just like, why would you do that? Like, why not just make it so the story exists in its own pocket dimension? No, we reset the multiverse. It's just, I don't know how DC gets away with it, but DC literally resets their multiverse every couple of years. And it's just like, why? Why? So it's like, we just destroyed and killed everyone in all of our universes so we could have one new universe. And it's like, why? Why? Just make a new universe. Don't be like, we destroyed all the other universe. Just make a new one. You don't need to destroy everything else. And it's like, but it'll sell comics. It doesn't sell shit. You're not selling comics, dude. Manga are outselling you because you keep destroying your universe, and there's no point in keeping invested in anything, because any year you might just go, screw it, and start over again. Don't worry, America top code to the end will take care of the scratches. Well, I'm actually polishing it, so I'm not too concerned about that. Ooh. But you're right, a top coat will help even it out. I need to start top coating more, especially because there's a lot more paint on this, so it would do me good to protect that paint. Well, in Elric of Melibene, how the multiverse works is that the multiverse there is chaos and law in every universe, and every universe cannot exist with too much of one or the other. Because if there's too much chaos, then everything becomes a maelstrom of like creation and destruction, but there's no stability to let anything grow. But if there's too much law, if there's too much order, what happens is nothing. Nothing happens because nothing new can arise, because that would disrupt the law. That would disrupt, order. If something new happened, that would be change. And so every universe has to find a balance between law and order. And whenever there is a disbalance in the universe, there is a champion born of balance. There's a champion whose entire existence is to try, and whether he succeeds or fails is not set in stone. He could fail, but there's always the eternal champion, and the eternal champion is a constantly reincarnating entity that is not aware of his reincarnation, but he's a constantly reincarnating entity who goes and he has to bring balance to the universe he's in. If there's too much chaos, he has to fight against chaos. If there's too much law, he has to fight against law. If the forces are out of balance, he must fight against both. Ooh. And it's interesting, because a lot of actual modern fantasy is inspired by Elric of Melibene. God, this is just ugly as hell. Why are you difficult? Hold up, I'm really struggling here. I think I need to get like a higher grit even. There's some like really bad scratches that aren't coming out. But like that, the whole universe, the whole multiverse is built around a central idea. So wherever you go on the Moorcock multiverse, you know it's going to have the same narrative, like, presets to it, so to speak. So there's a consistency overall. Ooh. So it's one multiverse. It's not a bunch of separate universes. It's one multiverse, which still functions consciously as one universe for you. But a lot of other times it's just like, oh hey, we just have a shitload of multiverses and there's like no stakes to anything. But in the multiverse of Moorcock, there are stakes because the stakes is the balance of all the multiverses. So there is still stakes in that, but a lot of times multiverses don't understand how to. It's such a wide scale because the universe itself is too big for us to understand. So being like, here's infinite more universes is too big to understand. So you need to have a lens to focus through. I'm sorry, I'm getting really off track with that, so I'm gonna cut myself short a little for that. UC Engage is their Marvel multiverse bullshit. I don't really know UC Engage all that much. Multiverse relies on ocean-wide and puddle-deep writing, and that's the problem with a lot of multiverses. It does rely on breadth, but no depth. Because again, a lot of times the multiverses are made after the fact. I need to quickly find something and then I'll read what you posted. Guys, oh my god, I just punched my microphone. I'm sorry if that created a sound problem. I can sand this later, but I don't want to. And because I did the thing that I said I shouldn't, I damaged the piece. I'm just a little upset about that. Oh god, yeah, you do have a bunch of tiny thrusters for. Okay, you were talking about the small thrusters for your. Yeah, you have the Psycho. Yeah, it's called the Psycho for a reason. To be fair. To be fair. Okay, it's called the Psycho. It's called the Psycho Zaku. You should have seen where that was going. I should get into Elric, considering how many popular works like Warhammer, Witcher, etc. took Elric's ideas straight up and stole it. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. One of my favorite things about The Witcher is not the fact that they took ideas from like Elric of Melibene, and even Moorcock doesn't really mind that. He doesn't really care that like, oh, The Witcher, you know, took my ideas. His problem. OBS just crashed. OBS just crashed. Come on. Okay, sorry. OBS crashed for a minute. We're back now. What I was saying is the problems that Michael Moorcock has with The Witcher and a lot of Elric of Melibene fans have with The Witcher isn't the fact that The Witcher takes from Elric of Melibene. It's the fact that the writer refuses to acknowledge any of it. Like, he's just like, oh yeah, like... when he wrote The Witcher, the company he was at was translating Elric of Melibene into Polish, and he's like, oh, but I took no inspiration from it. Just say like, oh yeah, I saw the creator of the creator of Elric has literally said, I was inspired by other things to make Elric. He has said that Elric's design was lifted from a pulp magazine from like the 1920s. He's fully admitted to this. So like, he has no problem with people taking inspiration from Elric of Melibene. He's honestly flattered by it. But having, like, the writer of The Witcher just go, like, no, I didn't take, like, it was completely original, and I didn't have my idea, like, I wasn't inspired by anyone else. It's just like, dude, really? It's like, come on, don't bullshit us. I don't know where I cut off, but, well, I know I was able to at least say that part. Like, the biggest controversy with The Witcher isn't the fact that it took. It's the fact that the writer just refuses to be like, yeah, I was inspired by. Nobody's saying like you have to be like, oh yeah, I just ripped off all my ideas. Just say like, yeah, I saw it and I was inspired by it. Because there's plenty in The Witcher that isn't like one for one from Elric of Melibene. There's like plenty in it that's its own story and whatnot. But like when you try to be like, no, it's just like, it just makes it more obvious. It's just like, well, we know it was being translated by the company you worked at. by your co-worker who like worked in the next office who you were friendly. Like we know. This is like nuh-uh. Nuh-uh. Ooh. You got a big finger. Oh no. Yeah, tiny because that's a high grade, so you might. I'm feeling for you for like that with all those little thrusters. Don't worry, OBS did come back though. OBS has been doing that. I need to upgrade OBS. I don't want to because I'm gonna have to find a new restream resource, and by that I mean I'm gonna have to go over to Edda Hinkst and be like, Edda, you know all the resources for restream. I need a new one because I updated OBS. This OBS is like, I haven't updated it over the last year. Because if I did, I'd have to find a new way to restream for free. And I'm just like, whatever. And now it's becoming a problem. So really, it's not OBS, it's my fault. GQ, I like how you just put GQ. Just put GQ. You know, I know what you mean by GQ. You don't need to put like all the U's. You don't even need to put the X. GQ is technically a multiverse. It might get into spoil. Yeah, I know. GQ is an alternate timeline, which makes it a little more confusing. But yeah, I do know like the spoilers of it. So both sadly and luckily, you don't need to worry. I know that like Lala soon created a multiverse to save Char, but Char is such a jobber that he kept dying regardless, which is kind of funny. I gotta admit, that's kind of funny. Lala Soon's like, oh no, Char keeps dying, I need to save his life, and then it's just like, man, he keeps dying no matter how many times we do this. We've been doing this for like, we've done this like 12 times, he keeps dying to Amuro. I got a Zazabi. I put this boy in a Zazabi and he's still dying to Amuro. Like, this don't even make sense no more. I don't even know how the hell did I even get a Zazabi in the 1 year war. It don't matter. He's still dying to Amuro. And every time he's dying to Amuro, it ain't even like Amuro's getting the Alex. Amuro's killing him in the Gundam, like in the RX-78. I mean, what I learned is like apparently the most accurate Char clone of all of the Char clones, it's not Zex, it's not Glemmy, it's not anyone, it's not Full Frontal. The most accurate Char clone of all the Char clones is Jared Mesa. Because apparently in the multiverse, Char's an absolute jobber. And if you don't know what a jobber is, it's a term from wrestling of somebody whose job it is just to come into the ring and get bodied by somebody else. Like, his entire existence is just to lose. Interesting choice, GQ, but also, I can't really hold it against you because I've seen the original Gundam. Char kind of does become a bit of a jobber by the end of it, and even in Zeta Gundam, he's a bit of a jobber. I love Char Aznable, but if you kind of look at his full track record, he's a bit of a jobber. He's a little bit. He has a grating personality. That's like, writers in general either are down to earth and really cool, or they're insufferable, and it feels like there's no in between for some reason. Remember when he sued CD Projekt Red after seeing how much Witchers made, even though he originally laughed at CD Projekt Red out of the room when they offered him royalties instead of, oh my god. So he took direct payment instead of royalties, and then CD Projekt Red was really successful. Like, I mean, what does that say about his work though? That he's like, you won't be successful with my with my famous multi-book series. You know, I just want an upfront payment. And then he's like, wait a minute, you made money? You have to give me that money. That's my money. I don't know why CD, like, honestly, if I was CD Projekt Red, I wouldn't. I mean, Witcher was a cash cow for him, but even I'd kind of be like, I don't want to make this anymore. I don't want to make this anymore. This guy's a prick. Yeah, I think you can see there's like little cut marks right here because I messed up the sanding. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back on that. Char's a pretty big jobber. Char's entire like career is built off of the fact that he was one of the first mobile suit pilots and he did really well at that naval battle that I forget the name of. But after that, he does well like in the early parts of Gundam. I mean, he can't destroy the Gundam because it's made out of, you know, plutonium. But by like a third of the way through Gundam, Amuro can hold his ground with Char, and at that point it's over for him. Char gets the Gelgoog, which is supposed to be better than the Gundam, and Amuro still just beats the shit out of him. Amuro, like, multiple times while he's in the Gelgoog, just beats the crap out of Char, and it's just like... And then Char gets the Zeong, and what happens? Amuro kind of still beats the shit out of him. Like, you might be like, oh, it's a draw because both mobile suits got destroyed. Dude, Amuro literally loses the head of the Gundam and still ends up just like Amuro gets the Gundam absolutely destroyed and he still ends up destroying like the head of the Zeong. Like by just remote, like he literally beats Char while remotely piloting the gun. He doesn't even remotely pilot it. He just types in some code and he's like, yeah, go walk into that room and shoot up. Char's so, I mean, it's of course like, but it's like, I know Char's gonna be there. Just shoot up at him. He's gonna be right there. You're gonna hit him. No chance at missing. It didn't do that. It didn't do the best. The Suzabi held its ground against the RZ, but the moment the new Gundam entered the battlefield, it was just like, yeah. Yeah, it's over. Then again, you can tell Char kind of does, it's a little, not lampshaded, but it is kind of stated that Char kind of wanted to lose, to be honest. I know that sounds like a stupid excuse, but Char is a very depressed character. He understands to an extent what he's doing is the wrong thing, and he kind of wants to not be, he wants to be proven incorrect. He wants Amuro to come and wreck his shit, to be honest. I mean, he literally says, that's why there's the scene of like, in English it's, Amuro, feel my presence. I'm being extremely wicked, which is hilarious in English. But that scene is literally him that's a cry for help from a depressed man who's like, Amuro, I'm a bad person. Help me out here. And, oh, okay, so I need to get these pieces out. Battle of Loom. So many, I don't know how you people keep all these things straight in your head. Yeah, Battle of Loom. I don't know how you keep, or like how Char, like, that's where he became the Red Comet. I don't know how you people remember all this. Well, I shouldn't say that because I mean, like, I have a wealth of just worthless Star Wars knowledge. I can't remember Gundam stuff. I'm too busy remembering Star Wars things I never think about anymore. Ooh. I used to know the measurement of... I used to know multiple measurements because the measurements in Star Wars are horribly inconsistent. It's really bad in all honesty. Like, you can find like 3 to 4 measurements of almost every like ship in Star Wars. Even the mile-long Star Destroyer, which you're like, it's called a mile-long Star Destroyer. It's a mile long. Well, it might not be a mile long. It might only be 1.6 kilometers long, which is actually 90 meters short of being a mile, because a mile is 1.69 miles. But other measurements have it at 1.7 kilometers. And it's just, it's really bad. Star Wars, all the measurements in Star Wars are in metric. But either the people who did the measurements don't know metric or don't know how to convert to metric. Or they don't know what scale the model they were looking at was. So when they convert it to a 1-to-1 scale for the model, they get the size wrong. Or because the X-Wing, as you know, the X-Wing, its wings do this, right? And what they'll do is they'll measure the wingspan of the X-Wing, but one person will be like, they'll measure the wingspan when it's closed, and then another guy will come and be like, I'm gonna measure it when it's open, and then another guy will measure it from nose to engine, and so you have 3 different measurements for the fucking X-Wing, sorry for cursing, and it all just says length. And you're like, which one, what do you mean by length? And they just say length. It's oh my god, and I used to know all those measurements. That's why I can't remember anything for Gundam. Ooh. Char is liked not because he's like a good pilot. Char is liked because he's just relatable. He's just a depressed dude who's making the wrong decisions. And anyone who's been a depressed dude who's been making the wrong decisions is like, I feel that, man. I feel that so much. Okay, if the do I have top coat? Do I already have top coat? What are you? I have Mr. Clear, matte finish spray, which I think is a top coat. I have premium top coat. I have top coat. I have, I'm in a color that's white. I have white also for some reason. I have a white base coat spray for some reason. If Amuro got shot in the in a grass field, I swear Char would drop the act immediately and rush. Oh yeah, no, he's like, Amuro, you're the only one who can stop me, man. If he got shot in that scene, he would have been like, what did you do? He just turned and be like, what did you do? And it's like, I shot him. It's like, why did you do that? It's because he was a threat to you. No, you don't do that. It would have been like one of those scenes. Ooh. It would have been like one of those scenes from like a comedy spoof film, but like unironic. It's what it would have been. It's like, did you just shoot him? Yeah. What do you mean? It's like that's actually a Venture Brothers scene. It's just like, did you just shoot him? It's like, yeah. It's just like, what do you mean? Yeah. Where did you get a gun? Where did you get a gun? That's actually a really good scene in Venture Bros. Oh, actually these parts do connect. So wait, that's so weird. So the inner frame is a full leg, but in the X-ray you can see this part right here isn't shown. Why not? Why is it depicted like this part does not connect to this part? That's so weird. Oh my god. So they were jossing us. They were like, oh, we don't want to do a full inner frame. Actually, we did do in a full inner frame. Haha, we were just joking, bro. What are we doing? Ooh. Chat, you need to make sure that I do finish. Actually, I'm gonna close the poll now. I'm gonna close the poll now because I'm too likely to forget it later. So let me go over. Don't worry, I'm just having a stroke while I'm looking for. Let's go here. No, that's way too many tabs to be open right now. That's a lot of tabs. That's 79 tabs. Oh, this is bad. Oh, don't crash. Do not crash. Do not crash, for the love of God. History. Restore window. Okay, let's close those 79 tabs. Let's get rid of that. Okay. No, somebody else. No, we're not ending on a tie again. Somebody else fucking vote in the poll. It's Charasoon and Lady Oon are tied again. We are not doing another. Somebody else vote right fucking now. We are not doing this again. I'm gonna give it another few minutes. But so help me God, we are not doing Chara Soon and Lady Oon tying again. What time are we at for the stream? Oh, we're not at 2 hours yet. I'm so proud of that. Ooh. It seems really minor, but I am pretty happy at the time. I can fix her. That's understandable. I don't care which ones you guys voted for, but it's tied again. I don't... Like, it's okay, you can vote for who you want, but I need another person to vote in this freaking poll, because I don't want to... The whole... Oh my god, I was like, yeah, we will definitively know who is the hottest crazy Gundam woman. You know what? Fuck it, I'm gonna vote in the poll. I'm gonna open up stream right now, and I'm gonna vote in the poll, and then I'm gonna end the poll. If one of you votes in the opposite direction of me and reties the poll before I can end it, I'm gonna reach through the screen and choke you. I don't know which one of you would have done it, but I'm gonna figure out. I'm gonna choke all of you. I can't open my stream. What do you mean? YouTube. I can't open the stream to vote in the poll. Let me... Okay. 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 The poll's not there. What the... What's happening? What do you mean the poll's not there? Hold up. Maybe if I go to my alt account. Wait a minute. This is so stupid. Okay, we're gonna go here. Okay. I love how Chara, at the end of, I don't like how loose this is, I really don't. I love how Chara literally, I think it's like when she's like breaking out of her brainwashing, or like, Chara literally just rips off the top of her uniform at one point in Double Zeta. She's just like, oh, you know, she's just like, and just shows off her cleavage, because reasons. Chara's the best. I'm voting for Chara. But, okay, end the poll. Poll ends. Chara won. I voted for Chara, right? Yes, Chara won. Okay. I was the tiebreaker. Char is my favorite bitch. Ooh. I kind of forgot, though, in all honesty, before today, that there's just a scene where Chara just rips off the top of her uniform, because she's like, it's too warm in this cockpit. She just rips off. There's more to it than that, but she just rips off, like, you know, like the top of her uniform. It's like, firstly, Chara, how strong are you that you just ripped a spacesuit? Like, you just, like, with your left hand by itself, you just ripped off the top of a spacesuit. Like, that stuff would be, like, designed to survive, like, hits from micrometeorites, and you ripped it off like it's nothing. That's really hot. Not gonna lie. That's true. Like the Delta, what you just said about the Delta Plus Gundam, that's true, actually. That's not a joke, that's just real. Okay. Okay, ah, there we go. Okay. I was wondering why this wasn't locking in, and I fixed it. You're gonna borrow your problem. Oh, I wanted to borrow my nephew's phone and make it a three-way tie. No. No, Kays. You do not make it a three-way tie. Honestly, if it was a three-way tie, I would have just accepted it. At that point, I would have just been like, there's just nothing to be done about it. But Chara Soon, the original Crazy Gundam woman, is peak Crazy Gundam woman. You can't beat the original unless it's Glemmy, who's like the original Char clone. And he's trash. You might be like, what about Jared? Jared is his own beast. Jared honestly is his own beast. He's not a Char clone in my heart, because there's so many jobbers. He's the jobber. He's just the jobber part of Char distilled to a fine point. Jared is the greatest jobber in all of Gundam, and I salute him for that. I don't know how he keeps making it. He fights a dude, like, no, sorry, he's the one with a broken leg. I love it when he on Mount Kilimanjaro, when he, like, sees Camille, and he's like, Camille, and he starts hobbling at Camille. And Camille, like, just does, like, a Chuck Norris, like, roundhouse back kick. And it's just like, and then Jared just falls down the side of Mount Kilimanjaro, and it's just like, what are we doing? What's going on? Jared, what did you, like, at what point did you think this was a good idea? And he'd just be like, honestly, I just got lost in the moment. Ooh. Not a spacesuit from Tenmu? Maybe that's it. Maybe just, like, you know, it would explain a lot about like Zeon, just, you know, and Neo Zeon, just, you know what, just lowest bidder. Lowest bidder. You know what? If like if their mobile suit gets destroyed, they're not surviving anyways. They ain't surviving that. Don't be crazy. We don't need a good spacesuit. Okay. That was a little more difficult than I thought. Okay. That's good. Ooh. He embodies all the Federation's qualities failing upwards. He really do. I was watching the Titans and I was like, Jared is so important because you don't wonder at any point, how are the Titans losing? Like, how are the Titans with all of their resources losing constantly? Because Jared is just like the quintessential Titans like soldier, and he's just everything wrong, both with the Federation, but more so with the Titans, because the Titans is kind of a distillation of everything wrong with the Federation. I know they're like inspired by Zeon and whatnot, but like structurally, they are like what's wrong with the Federation, and you're just like, oh, they're just all incompetent. And it doesn't matter how bad you are, you can just keep failing upwards. And you never question, just like, oh yeah, how are the Titans losing? You see how the Titans are losing. It's because they are not here on any merit. Ooh. Everyone who is in the Titans is there because they're all dumbasses. They were just dumbasses with high charisma or just lucky and got into the position. And I'm sure somebody will be like, oh, there was this one, except for Yazan. Yazan is the one person who deserves to be there. Yazan is actually just a unit, but for every Yazan, you have like 5 Jareds. And you go like, yeah, I understand how he got here. For every Yazan the Beast, you have a half a dozen Jareds, and you just have no question of how we got here. How is everything so bad? Post pic on a kit I bought in Psychozaku. Ew. Let me see that. Oh, you got... I forget what that's called. Shit. It's not the Dreadnought Gundam. It's the thing that people like more than the Dreadnought Gundam. But it's the big, like... It's the Gundam with, like, a big star on its back. I forget what it's called. I'm sorry. Again, as I've stated, all my autism is dedicated towards dinosaurs and Star Wars, sadly. Ooh. I've already spent all of my autism points. It's too late in life for me to spend my autism on Gundam. I'm sorry, chat. I invested poorly. But not the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs was the right choice. Invest in dinosaurs for your autism. You never fail when you invest in dinosaurs for autism, but investing in Star Wars was, in the long term, that was a mistake. I can admit that. Yazan is a real one, old type. Yeah, he's an old type that goes against Camille and Char to a draw. I think he does that multiple times. He's just a unit. He's a beast, which is why he's called the Beast. Providence Gundam, thank you. Yeah, the I mean that, but like also like who was leading? Who was leading that attack? Well, like Char was making that speech, and the Titans were just, you know, doing really stupid shit in the middle of the speech. Who was pushing the attack? Who was leading the attack? Jared was. Jared was, and like they had to be like, Jared, we need to leave. And it's like, no, I can take Camille. And it's like, dude, we just lost like everything because we did this. And Jared's like, I can get Camille still. And it's just like, we're leaving. And he's like, damn it. Ooh. I like how the Bailaron is also another, it's like the Queen Monza, but where the Queen Monza never got a redemption, the Bailaron did. The Bailaron was like a high-end mobile suit piloted by Jared, but because Jared's a jobber, it looked like it was it's kind of like the Zeong, where you're like, the Zeong is this really overpowered mobile, it's a super weapon, but you know, like, how we see it get used, we're like, is it really a super weapon? And then in Gundam Unicorn, we see it get used by somebody who's actually competent, and we go like, oh, this is what it would look like if Jared wasn't a loser. Friend of your mind is a Super Federation and Ayug fan, and it's funny, but also sad to see. Ooh, I always times the spins the Titan is not Federation, but Ayug is Federation. They're both Federation, that's the problem. The Ayug is technically funded by like Federation, like, is funded by Federation reformist groups who are like on the outside looking in for the most part. But the Titans are the Federation. They are the core Federation. They are they are bankrolled by the Federation wholly. Like, they're both the Federation. Zeta Gundam is a Federation civil war, effectively, is what it depicts. They're both Federation. Ooh. The Ayug one is actually harder to see, but it's where a lot of their funding is coming from. They're getting funding from the Federation as well. Ooh. Did I put this on correctly? I could not have put it on incorrectly. But yeah, that is a little funny to be like, oh, nah, Ayug is Federation, but like, these other guys, it's kind of like saying, like, the Civil War wasn't a civil... It's literally like saying the American Civil War wasn't the American Civil War. It's like the Confederacy wasn't actually Americans. It's like, no, they were still Americans. In fact, that's the whole thing that, like, the North was fighting about, that they were still Americans. And the fact that the North won the Civil War means that the Confederacy were Americans the whole time. You know, like, on a historical level, by winning the Civil War, we proved that the Confederacy were Americans. So saying that the Confederacy weren't Americans would be incorrect, and so would be saying, like, the Titans weren't Federation. I know that might be a little bit of a weird comparison, but this is what came to mind. And then let's get this leg armor. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to do so much more sanding. How much do we have left? Oh my god, there's so much. We have like the legs left. Okay, we have this left. Okay, it's just transformation. I think we should get the legs done, because all this little stuff is gonna take forever to build. And so I think like the waist is probably gonna take like an hour to build, but all this extra stuff is gonna take an hour in and of itself to build. So I think it's the best idea is to finish the legs today, even if it makes us go a little bit longer. How much do we have left in the legs? Not a lot, honestly. So I think that's the best idea that we can do. Or at least get as far in the legs as we can. Ooh. Oh my god. Yeah, I didn't... Ooh. There's so many factions inside. You bringing up the ecosystem reminded me of how many factions the Federation has inside of itself, which is part of the flaw of the Federation, is that it's big, bloated, and it doesn't know what itself is doing. Is that, like, it literally doesn't know what it's doing itself. The Federation is just... It's one of those things where, like, it's going to collapse in on itself eventually, but the question is when, and the question is, like, before G-Savior, apparently. But, like, it's just, you know it's gonna happen. Not a question of if, it's just a question of when with the Federation. To be honest, after 2 kits, I might need to stop building anything for at least 2 to 3 months, feeling burned out. Ooh. That's why you gotta start simple, man. Because wasn't your first kit, like, something really complex? You went into the deep end, so, like, it wouldn't be a problem for, like, you to take that break. But you just need to, like, evaluate, like, what you want out of a build. I think, were you the one who, like, started with a perfect grade, which is kind of insane to do? Like, props to you for just going into the deep end first. Like, don't rush, yeah, don't rush. But if you did go from a perfect grade to even a high grade Psycho, yeah, that's pretty fucking Looney Tunes. I'm not gonna lie, Kays. It's a marathon, not a race. That's a good saying. I haven't heard that saying in a while. Content creation is much like that. The marathon, not a race. Okay. This is definitely the better way to do it. Just get off the parts that you don't need, and then sand. Well, I'm gonna have to sand that regardless, actually, because there's this paint smeared all over this. I'm gonna have to sand this whole top section. But you're pretty clean, though. Except for this part, for some reason. You're gonna have to be sanded as well. And... come on. There we go. I love this. I really do love these. Ooh. This is a really satisfying build. There's just so much prep work I can do on it that I just normally don't get to do, especially on a high grade. Okay, you weren't the one who's... Okay, so your first kit was the NG Death Scythe? Ooh. I'm happy you weren't... I'm happy you didn't start with a freaking perfect grade, in all honesty, because that might have broken your freaking brain. Ooh. Were you I don't know. You or somebody else were considering starting with a perfect grade, and I was like, don't. But yeah, it's especially when you first start. I mean, a high grade kit, a normal high grade kit, your Psycho probably not so simple. But a normal high grade kit, like the first time you build it, is gonna take over 3 hours. But even when you get good at building high grades, it's gonna take like a minimum of like 2 to 3 hours, even without prep work. Ooh, it's a marathon, as he said. It's a slow process. It's a hobby. It's something you do when you just want to, like, unwind and relax. It's meditative, and I should have painted these areas. I didn't even know they existed. Okay, so I think I don't need to go to that fine of a grit. I think I can just go to 3000 with these. Yes, I can. Excellent. Best viewers! I fucking hate Twitch bots. Oh, there's a lot of you. Oh. I really need to, actually, one thing I need to do is actually just start doing meditation. I've started 1 day a week, just like I started 1 day a week no longer using social media, but what I need to start doing is just like kind of not use technology in general. Outside of using like my sound like on my computer for like for music and whatnot, I really need to like just disconnect for at least 1 day a week. Just reset the brain. Because the human brain is not meant to be like considering all these things, thinking about all this bull crap all the time. Shit. I'm gonna have to do this off stream because I thought this was small enough. It's actually too big to fit, so I actually cannot fit. I cannot sand that part right now. You mentioning bingo card reminded me though that actually people use is that somebody actually made a bingo card for Airy streams. Oh. Oh, okay, so we need to get that. I'm happy I learned how to scrape off with an X-Acto knife. I still find it funny how like a lot of my prep work and a lot of my painting and pretty much everything I know about how to like set up a model in like stuff like this does not come from any Gundam videos. It all comes from Warhammer videos. And I've never built a Warhammer in my life. But I've just watched a bunch of like Warhammer modeling videos and I'm like, yeah, that's good advice actually. Like the fact that I know that you're supposed to just do this one direction, you're not supposed to go back and forth. You're supposed to go wah, wah, wah. And I did that too forcefully and I messed up because of it, whatever. The way I learned that is from Warhammer. Who is from Warhammer tutorials. Ooh. Yeah, what happened is that I did not clean off the piece before sanding. So I ended up just dragging all that paint that I scraped off across the piece. I feel like a paleontologist though, chat, whenever I use this little brush. I feel like I'm gonna find a dinosaur. God, I've not gone fossil hunting in like over a decade. Now I'm thinking of things that I haven't done in like forever. I'd love to go fossil hunting again. And there's some good fossil hunting spots in the state that I live in. Most of it's like Cambrian stuff, but I'm not picky. Ooh. Actually, Cambrian stuff is pretty fun to fossil hunt with because it's just, you just find mats of like coral and like little invertebrates and whatnot. It's actually pretty nice to do fossil hunting in Cambrian areas because you're guaranteed to find something because there's just so much life in the Cambrian oceans that got preserved. Fossil hunting is pretty much all it is just hiking where you look at the ground constantly, and it's actually really fun. It's just hiking where you get to look at the ground and occasionally be like, oh look, this is a cool rock. Actually, one of my favorite things about fossil hunting isn't even finding the fossils. A lot of times you just find rocks that just like are cool. Ooh, I got some good garnets, man. I got some good like rusty garnet stones and whatnot from just going on walks. Mudstones are my favorite. Mudstones are it's just mud. It's just mud from like 5 million years ago that got pushed down, or from even like 500 million years ago that got pushed down, and it's just like this super smooth rock. And you might be like, what's interesting about that? It's just a really smooth rock, and it's just kind of weird. I don't know. It just triggers my autism. I'm like, oh yeah. It's just good. Yeah, it's good just in general, just to disconnect. Ooh. Actually, bringing that up, I just remember that one of the streams I'm supposed to do when I rebrand is actually show off my fossil collection. Ooh. That's gonna be fun. There's one fossil I have in my fossil collection that I have no idea what it is. Merrick, why did you try to put this together before you had both pieces? You knew that was a bad idea. Ooh, you could have just eyeballed it to know that this is the compatible piece. You did not need to actually put it on. Why must you do the dumb thing? Because I'm talking and not thinking. There we go. Oh, and wow, that. Oh my god. Dude, taking that off actually made this part separate. Shiny mud balls. Shony is not a word. There you go. Mud. Muff is a word, but we can't say what that is on stream. Ball? Is that just It's a Japanese art form in which soil and mud are combined and molded, then carefully polished to create a delicate, shiny sphere. So it's this artificial mudstone. That's awesome. Because on mudstone, you can do the same thing. You can just polish half of mudstone, and it looks really nice. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna find one of my fossils or one of my mudstones. I don't know which one. I wanna share. Where are my stones? They're supposed to be over here. The Bionicle. Why are you down there? That's not important. Don't focus on Bionicle. Focus on... Where are all my stones? Here's my favorite fossil. All my stones are missing. That's concerning. I don't know... Oh, my stones are in a box. Hold up. Wait a second. My mudstone isn't in the box. If my mudstone isn't in the box, then where is my mudstone? I'm discovering things that I'm not happy about right now, chat. I had a big green mudstone, and I don't know where it is anymore. For a second there, I thought I was muted. Ooh. Let me get my head back. Look like I have a stroke. These are the wrong gloves. I pulled out the wrong gloves. I need to replace my gloves. But that's one fossil. That's my favorite fossil. That's my favorite fossil because I genuinely have no idea what's inside of it. And my hands are not... Get out larger gloves because my hands are a little damp from being in the other gloves. So now they're not going into the medium gloves anymore. There we go. Large gloves are a little loose on the hand, but they're easier to get on. BRB, okay, don't worry. Minimize that. Okay. This is my favorite fossil, and it's probably not going to show up. The best way to show it up is like if I had a drop of water, and the only water I have has paint in it, so I'm not going to use that. But you might be able to see it still. There's like a little dude in there, but I can't tell like what he is. Because he doesn't quite look like anything. Like he doesn't have... This is hard to... I can't tell what he is. It's probably just like one of those like little like trilobites or something, but like You can he's kind of focusing and unfocusing. I hope you can see him. But it's like, you might not even be able to tell him from the rest of the rock because he's really hard to see, but it's kind of like it goes across like this, and then there's like a spinal part. It's not actually a spine, but it's just something that goes across the center back. And it's just really hard to see what it is, and I hope I can't tell if it's focusing or not, but I hope you can at least see it. It might just look like I'm sharing a rock for no reason. Ooh. I need to put this I actually need to put this away somewhere safe so I don't lose it. One time I lost this rock for a year, and I was really sad. Ooh. One of my favorite things about fossils, though, is the fact that all fossils are rock. Ooh, because the process of fossilization is actually mineralization of the bone. So what happens is the bone gets replaced by stone, effectively. There is no... Is that over the course of, at minimum, 10,000 years, it's just all, like, the surrounding rock pretty much takes away all the calcium and all the organic material and just replaces it with whatever the surrounding rock is. But because it's like a negative space, it pretty much fills it in at a different density. And sometimes that density is not very good, and it makes it so that the bone, when you pick it up, the fossil, when you pick it up, will just crumble in your hand because it's just low density stone. Which is why sometimes what's more important than the fossils themselves is the cast of the fossil, which is the rock around the fossil. Because that might be more stable than the actual, like, pseudo bone, than the fossil itself. Okay. Eric, that was profoundly stupid. It's kind of impressively dumb how you messed that up. Eric, what are you? Okay. Well, one of you is wrong. One of these is wrong, but which one? This one's correct. Wait, is it? Yeah, this one is correct, and this one is wrong. Wait, is this the no, this isn't the compatible piece, so... Your thigh is on wrong. You're on backwards. I built these wrong. But not like... How wrong did I mess this up? Wait a minute. This is wrong. This is wrong, right? I messed up? Yes. This should be going the other... Wait, no, wait, no, this is correct. I'm so confused. No, this is correct. Okay, no. And then this piece goes here. And okay, that is correct. Which means this piece... So I'm having a feeling this is supposed to go the other way. It only plugs in like this. So let me check that real quick. That would mean... No, I have it. Okay, I'm just being dumb. I'm just being dumb. Never mind. Ooh. And then N. I was just being a little bit of a silly Billy. Don't worry about it, chat. And 7 and 8. This one, this one, this one. Ooh. Ooh. Actually, I think one of the best decisions that Bandai has done, speaking of like getting into Gunpla, one of the best decisions they've done was definitely making entry grades. Because entry grades are a really nice starting point for Gunpla. You don't need anything, they all snap together, you can just push the parts out with your hand. Ooh. It was a rare Bandai W. Found the pieces. You know, I've been wondering about something for a while, chat, and maybe you can help me with it. And what I've been wondering about is Haman a crazy Gundam woman? Because, like, I'm not sure. She's a little crazy, but I don't know if she's, like, full-on crazy. I'm just not... She's a baddie for certain. Ooh, she's a bite lower lip baddie, but I don't know if she, like... She isn't crazy. She has moments, is the thing. I feel like what makes her feel crazy is she keeps going after Judo, and it's just like, you're a little crazy for that, in all honesty. Ooh, you keep going like, Judo, we should team up, and you're kind of like being what Glemmy is to Rose, but like, without it being as sexual, in all honesty. And it's still a little weird. Like, even though you don't have, like, the sexual overtone, there's still, like, I feel a bit of an undertone with it. And he's, like, 14, and you're, like... I don't know how old you are, actually, Haman. You could be... You're an anime character. You could be anywhere between 20 and 40 years old, and you would still look exactly the way you do. That's not true. This is Gundam. If you were over the age of 25, you would immediately look like you're 50 years old. Because that's how Gundam works. The moment you hit 25 years old, it's just, you look like a 50-year-old man. Chalia Bowl. My brain just malfunctioned. Ooh. Ooh. Like, once you get past a certain age in Gundam, it just, the age hits you hard. Yeah, the new entry grades actually look... The new entry grades just look better than old high grades, in all honesty. Which is what you want. You want the newer, lower grade kits to look better than the older kits, you know? Like how a lot of modern high grades, like, whatever's coming out, like, most recently for high grades is honestly... honestly better than a lot of, like, than most master grades from, like, 30 years ago. And that's what you want. You want, like... whatever is happening now to be progressing in that quality, which I'm happy to see that is something that's happening. Rambaral also. Man is like 28 or something. I can't quite remember. He ain't that old, but the man look like he 50. The man looks like he's 50. He ain't that old, but he look it. It's like you get to a point in Gundam, you just become ancient. Ooh. You've returned? That hurts to hear. But yeah, Rambaral is like... He's not. He's like in his 20s. Let me see how old Rambaral is. Maybe at most he's in his 30s, but I'm pretty sure Rambaral is like in his 20s or something. It's just like real surprising. I'm gonna have to look up his age because it's not gonna give me Rambaral age. Also, welcome, Super. Okay, he's 35. Okay, it says he's 35 here. I've seen things where it says like he's like in his late 20s other places though. The man looks so much older. In Gundam the Origin, he looks way more like he's 35 years old. Ooh. I think it's Chalia Bull though, who's like super, who might be the one who's in his 20s. Chalia Bull, age. Yeah, Chalia Bull is like 30 years old or something, and Chalia looks like he's also like 50. Here, he's 29. Chalia Bull is 29 years old. This picture sums it. Oh my God, Cassilia's 24. She looks like oh my God, she has such hag energy. But let me show you this picture. This is Gundam ages. The UC is one of the most unkind universes I've ever seen. These are all like canon ages. Like this dude, like he's gray. He ain't got no, like he's 35 years old and he's 100% gray. Girin's just weird. Look at the guy, look at the 29-year-olds though. Both those dudes look like Clint Eastwood in the last Dirty Harry movie. And then you have Cassilia who just, what the fuck happened to Cassilia? Yeah, I thought she was in her mid-30s too. I thought she was like her early 20s at least, early 30s at least. I thought she was just under, I thought she was just like right under the age of Girin. I didn't know she was over a decade younger than Girin. I didn't even know that. I forgot about that one. In the GQ, they do such a better job at like making Chalia look his age. They make Chalia they just make Chalia a handsome man though. I'm sorry, is this pointing inward? That's weird. Ooh, I haven't finished GQ either, but ooh, a lot of it's been spoiled for me. Actually, hold up. GQ I should finish before I actually, should finish on priority with Gundam X in all honesty. Oh yeah, ooh. I actually kind of like the design. I like the character designs in GQ. Ooh. Actually, I really like, what's her name? Lala Soon's redesign. This made her look even softer than she already does. It's also a little more fun to draw her in the GQ style. Though I will also say, I do prefer her original hair buns over the GQ hair loops. But that's not because, like, the hair buns look better. The reason I prefer her hair buns from the original series is because they're easier to draw. You just draw a circle. It's so much easier to draw Lala Soon's hair in the original because it's just... You just draw the buns. H. This is B. This is I, actually. I don't know my alphabet. So it needs to look like this. So this is the other part. I keep going. No, this is also I. Damn it. Sorry for cursing. I keep going to the city to check out my local hobby store. I'm facing away from the mic, I shouldn't talk right now. Hold up, I'm having trouble finding this fruit, which is not new, but if you give me a minute, I have to look away to find it. Here's this one. That's I. Here you are, bastard. Ooh, but I've been going to the city, and it's just... Because all the shipping problems, I just haven't been able to get, like, they just haven't been able to restock, and it's just been really annoying. I don't need more I don't need more kits, but, like, it's more the fact that I'm just a little upset that, like, they just can't get more shipment in general. That's not good for business. I need to. Actually, I don't know when I'm gonna watch The Witch from Mercury. In all honesty, I'm not really sure when I'd get to that. We'll have so much other Gundam stuff that I just need to prioritize. What do you think about people saying that dark elves and orcs are racist? That's kind of a non sequitur, but it's stupid. And they should be removed from Dungeons and Dragons. I've not heard the dark elves. I've heard the orc one before, but I've not heard people go like dark elves are black. I've not heard that one before. Yeah, it is one of those issues with where nobody saw these as like ethnic minorities until the people who are saying everyone else sees them as ethnic minorities. Like the only people who see them as minorities are the people saying everyone else sees them as minorities. It's just it's a little telling, isn't it? Yeah, but it really is. It's like the only racist people in the situation are the ones going, ah, crude barbaric green people. They must be referring to the blacks. And it's like, what? Ah, yes. Dark elves, there's so many different versions of dark elves, but I'm just gonna go with the Warhammer version. Oh, pirating like evil people who just get off on torturing dudes. That makes me think of black people. Okay, I've never looked at an orc in my entire life and thought, he's just like LeBron James. Never in my life have I looked at a dark elf and thought, Michael Jordan. Never in my life. Never in my life. These people, though, immediately. Ooh. And then they have the nerve to turn around and be like, ah, you're the racist for not seeing them as, like, the minorities. And it's like, how does that make sense? When you see an evil race of, like, when you see goblins, you don't think of Jews? How racist of you. Why would I think of Jews? Well, they got big noses and are greedy. What the... What? Like, what the fuck? Ooh. And no, goblins did not originate as an anti-Semitic, as anti-Semitism. Goblins predate Jews in the region that they're from. The myth of the goblin comes before Jews ever got into Scandinavia. Ooh. So the whole, like the goblins were made as an anti-Semitic stereotype. No, they weren't. They were not. That is a lie. Yeah, it really is. It's the, like somebody, actually that's one of my favorite memes where it's, a lot of times the meme that's used is the one where it's I forget her name, but like the side character from Kill la Kill, and she's just chewing, but she's like looking over to the side while like eating something, and she's just like, wait, what did you just say? It's just like that's a pretty fucked up thing to say. It's just like, it's a self-report is all it is. The closest you could say to racism is in Lord of the Rings. The orcs are described to have mongoloid features, but when he says they have mongoloid features, he's not saying they look like Mongolians. He's saying that they look like they are mongoloids, which at the time when Tolkien wrote the book meant people who were retarded. Like, I hate to say it, but like orcs are literally retarded elves. And the fact if you hear orcs are retarded elves and you think, ah, Mexicans, you're the racist. Even the Easterlings aren't, like, you can't be like, oh, the Easterlings are racist. It's like, the Easterlings are, like, arguably, like, are more likely Eastern Europeans than Asians, in all honesty. They're more likely, like, the people from, like, the European steppes, not the Asian steppes. So, again, it's kind of like, no. But people want to be offended. It's actually really annoying, because, like... Tolkien was just kind of a cool dude if you, like, actually just look into him. But just having people trying to slander him all the time is just annoying. Can we, please, for the love of God... What did I do here? How did I do this? I messed... I did it here as well. How? Wait, what? What have I done here? Oh, okay, I see. So, Ah, okay. Okay, so somehow when I opened this up earlier, I got this piece out of alignment, and I just needed to fix that. And then this feels so loose. I must have done something wrong. Did I do something wrong? This does not feel secure, but whatever. But that is also another problem, is it's a bunch of people who aren't even the people in question wanting to, like, white knight. It's people who are like, like, ooh, I'm offended on behalf of other people. Ooh. And that's also just annoying. So much of activism is that, like, in a lot of cases, most of the activists, I mean, this is true generally, but today it's like, it's exaggerated to the point of, like, hyperbole. And it's the fact that most activists are not the people who are being affected by the thing, which is normal. But today, like in the past, it was like, there was like a proportionality to it. Now it's like, so much of activism is just people who aren't, like, who have no connection to the thing, and not, like, which isn't necessarily a problem, but they also have no understanding of it, and it's just a way for them to feel better. It's just, ugh. No thank you. And again, like, you don't have to be something to be an activist for it, but, like, the problem is, again, it's just the people have no connection. They don't really care. It's just the reason they're an activist is for their own sake, not for the sake of the thing that, like, they are, you know, being an activist for. It's just, it's a performative art for their own social gratification. But I'm sorry, chat, that hit you. It flew off screen and hit you right. Bandai? Do I hate you right now? No, it says that I cut off this part. That is such a thick gate. Okay. Sorry, the gate right here. I don't know if you can see it. Let me cut this part off. But it almost looks like that's part of the mold. It's a little fuzzy for you to see. I'm sorry. Actually, thinking back to GQ, I wonder what my favorite GQ, like, redesign is. Is it the... Ooh. Is it the Manta Ray? Maybe. It's not the Psycho Gundam. I like the Psycho Gundam. I think it's funny that the Psycho Gundam was obviously more inspired by the Psycho Gundam Mark II. But it's not the Psycho Gundam. It's not... The Gelgoog is technically the gym. It's funny that it's called the Gelgoog, and there's in-universe reasons why it's called the Gelgoog. Ooh. And it's actually some good lore on the part of the writers. But it's not the Gelgoog. It's a good alternate design for the gym. It's actually one of the better AU/alternate universe designs for the gym. Not the Zaku. Not the Gian. It might actually be the Manta Ray. I know it's not called the Manta Ray, but it's a ray, and I always get its name wrong because I keep wanting to say Harambe whenever I say its name. It's a problem. GQ. Let's see here. And then 8. What time are we at? Oh, we can't get to 3 hours. I really wanted to finish these legs. I'm gonna try to lock in and finish these legs, but I don't think I can finish them in, how much time do I have? In 7 minutes. But You know what? The Dom. It's probably the Dom. The Dom looks really good. I actually really like the GQ Dom design. Ooh. Like I really like the original Dom design as well. Ooh. But the GQ one, there's just something about it. The fact that it has a third leg that descends so it can go into hover mode is also really fun. Ooh. Let's see here. Ooh. Let's Okay, so I've been overdoing it is what I've learned. I've been using like the 2000 and the 1000 grit, when the 3000 grit is more than enough to get rid of the paint overflow. We started a little later, actually. What time is it? Oof. Luckily, I took a siesta before stream, so I should be able to do some editing before I go to bed this time. And again, I took a siesta last night as well. But I got angry last night, and I wasn't able to go to the gym today because when we played Silk Song yesterday, I was doing that wrong. I actually hurt myself, because I did so many push-ups, because how I was doing the push-ups wasn't a set number. I would do push-ups until I couldn't do push-ups anymore because I was really pissed, and don't do that, chat. I don't know how many push-ups I did, but I know that I did them wrong because I did a bunch of push-ups and then I stood up and held a controller, which might not seem like a bad thing, but what that means is my arms never got to rest. Particularly my trapezius never got to rest. So the whole time for like 2 hours of playing Silk Song effectively, because I did all my push-ups, I think, in the first hour. For 2 hours, I just didn't like I overworked my muscles. And then my trapezius, which is holding up, my trapezius and other muscles which are holding up my arm, never got to rest because I was holding my arms up, holding the controller the whole time because I was standing. And so all day today, I've been in like horrible pain. I feel so old. Ooh. I also didn't stay hydrated last stream, so that also didn't help. Let me clean this off. Normally I want noises to be picked up by the mic, but I'm hoping that awful, awful sound was not. That awful sound of the plastic being scraped away. Okay, that's good. Ooh. For the fantasy thing, I do kind of wonder, like, what's the most out-of-pocket, like, one where, like, it's just telling that they're the racist, but the orcs and, like, the dark elf ones, I didn't even... Ooh. No, I didn't even know about the dark elf ones until you guys mentioned it. But, like, what's the most out-of-pocket racist projection, I wonder? Kind of weird though, because like I hate to say this, but like I feel like they're not even getting their racism correctly, because I feel like dark elves wouldn't be black people. Like I feel like the stereotype should be like, depending on the universe, I don't really know the whole background, but like shouldn't they be like gypsies or like something else? Like why is it always just like everything is like black people or Jews? There's so many other like racial minorities. I feel like that's actually kind of the weirdest part of it. There's a lot weird about it. Nice kit. And then this. God, what's really taking up time is all the polishing and cleaning up of the pieces. I'm gonna recheck this one more time. Oh, wait a minute. Ah, that's how. Okay, so I was like, why is this so loose? It's because I'm supposed to lift this back. Hold up. Lift this back, and you can't quite see it, but this goes here, and now it can't move. And you can see it better here, where you can see it at all here, where this little part hooks over it, and that little part is all that's needed to lock it in. And that looks, this one is the one that was prepped, and it looks a lot better. I need to do this one off stream. I must have just missed it. And then, oh, what the, I'm on the next page, it looks like. Oh, and I have to, it's saying I should tape these pieces. Not tape, I should... It's been so long, I actually don't know where the sticker sheet for this is anymore. Ooh, it's the one thing I did not put away like a fool. It should be right here. It is. Oh, it's just a black. I should paint that. I should not put on stickers. That's gonna, the stickers are gonna not be aligned properly anyways, and you're gonna be able to see a piece of plastic if I do that. Okay, so. And then this goes. Wait, what? Did I mess up at some point? What's that? I don't recognize that, and it's not on... It's not here. So why don't I have this on my kit? Why don't I have this? Can you see that? You can't. Hold up. This piece right here is not here, so I must have messed up at some point. It's here. Okay, see it here. Where did I mess up? No, no, no. It's here. I don't... I'm gonna have to partially disassemble this, but I don't see what piece this is. Here it is. It's gonna be connected when these two pieces are put together. So here, here. Oh, oh my god, that's so far back. But it's J1. And we're gonna have to find a way to put that back to put that in without disassembling the whole thing. Fun. That's a fun way to end stream. Oh lord, that's such a small piece to miss too. However, because it's small, it means we might be able to get away with a little bit of chicanery. First question is, we can not fit it like that? Okay. Seems like the best idea is just to disassemble it a little. Okay. Actually, this isn't too bad at all, really. And there we go. That's actually not too bad at all. One of my favorite things about a kit is if it can be disassembled easily, in case you do make a mistake. And this kit more than passes that. There's a little bit of problems at times, but overall it's pretty forgiving. But That goes back here. There's a dog hair. This goes here again. This goes here. And now I can actually show you better how this lines up. Oh, and it also locks in right here, I see. There's some really nice engineering in this overall. I think I might have swapped the leg armor, but that's okay, because they're symmetrical. Then this goes here. How does this go on? This goes on like this. Okay. And then we do that to the other side. And we will be finished for today. We can put this on right now, actually, because there's no undergating issue. This goes here. This goes here. This goes here. Oof. And then... Uh-oh. Whoa. Where's the last piece? Oh, there it is. And then this goes here. I didn't put the piece in. Fucking moron. I just reassembled this one without putting the piece in. Oh, goodness. Oh, no. Okay. A little upset we weren't able to finish the legs today. But, oof. There's just so much to them. You know what? If it's not a lot, I can go... I need to do the paint prep for these parts, for these, for this. So I'll do that off stream so that on Monday it'll just be ready. Or I can just skip these and do the rest of the leg now. Where is the piece? There it is. Here, I'll continue and see if there's any more. I'll go over 3 hours, even though I'm not supposed to. Okay, and that tiny piece that's really easy to lose is lost again. But there we go. There we go. Ooh, God, older kits are a pain if you miss a step like that. You miss a step like that in older kits, it's just... You might have to break the kit to, like, disassemble it. You have to be so careful. Well, with this, I was not the most gentle with it, to be honest. Okay. God, this knee feels super weird. But let's look at the last parts. Yeah, the sign-off would take me over 3 hours anyways. Let's get here, M14. And then we're gonna skip the Vernairs for right now. I'll probably do that off stream, but just so I don't forget on stream. And then we will get out the H. Hope everyone's been having a good week, by the way. E. H. Spot. 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 What's not connected still? This one. There we go. Are there any, like, little slight topics that won't go into massive tangents that I can finish off with? Oh, that's actually that's not a slight topic at all. I was supposed to talk about Sayla today, and how it's kind of a tragedy how her character is I don't want to say underutilized, but like the potential of her character versus what we got. And it's not like any fault of the writing, it's just the fact that like her voice actress got busy, so she wasn't really able to appear in later works. But that's actually that's a topic for next stream. Ooh. Ooh, I still need to check out Isekai. I need to check out the Gundam manga. Ooh, a lot of Gundam mangas now that I say that. So the one that I actually want to start with out of all of them, because it kind of is the most interesting, and also it's not... I've already crossed it, so like, I want to read Gundam Crossbones a lot, but Gundam Crossbones has to wait until I catch up to it chronologically. But one that I really want to... One that I want to look at is the Pulitzer one. This is not N. This is N. Never mind. Is the Pulitzer ones that you talked about, where it's like people, where it's an anthology story of just, you know, a journalist getting stories from people throughout the Gundam, you know, timeline. And I think they're just like to find out like the impact of Amuro on the Gundam universe itself, I think is what the story's supposed to be, like what the journalist is investigating. Ooh. That one probably has my interest the most. Oh, that's the wrong piece. This is the correct one. So I need to put this... I'm just going to put that there for the moment. And then this goes here. This goes here. Actually, where I'm gonna put this is in the spare parts box. It's the smart thing to do. And in future, Merrick is gonna be like, thank you, past Merrick, just like I did earlier this stream. Chat, remind me that the if I'm going like, where's the other Vernair? Remind me it's in the spare it's in the spare parts box. We are so close though to being done. We're done for today. And it looks like I also forgot to prep one of these pieces as well. I need to do another coat of paint on this one, specifically right here where it's not the most consistent. I need to do like another coat of paint on some areas, but I completely just missed this area right here. Ooh. There's also the question of if I should be painting here, but I think no. If I did, I'd actually want to paint the insides of here black rather than paint it red as well. There we go. And then with that, we can just slide you on, hopefully, my brain. There we go. Then here we can just put you on. Oof. A little bit of weirdness to the leg. It actually has a pretty good bend for like what it is. Ooh, it might not look like the best bend, but like for how the leg is designed, that's actually not a half bad bend. But it's pretty interesting overall. Because it's all meant to be transformable into that moving fortress mode. And then let's get the feet on. There we go. Not a half bad. Ooh. Oh, Jesus, I almost forgot to put these on. Where do you connect? You connect to... I'm floundering. You connect right in here. I think you go in like this. Yes. Be a friend. Be a pal. Don't be a dick. There we go. Ooh, it's one of those things where it's a little angled, so it's harder to do. Then we cut this piece off and this piece off. We throw you in. And that's it for today. I'll have to do the Vernair, or actually I think these are more I don't think those are Vernairs. I think those are more Mega Beam Particle Cannons for some reason. But I'm gonna have to do those beam cannons at a different off stream. I had the legs backwards. Ooh, I do not know my left from my right. Let's get this plugged in. And then let's show off what we have built so far. So as you can see, we only need to do the waist and all the little extra bits, which is hopefully... I fucked it up. What a way to end stream. I'm going to have to come back. You know what? No, we'll do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. What I noticed is this and like I got these are supposed to be on this side, so I got the sides wrong. I do not know my left from my right. Ooh, it's a miracle I ever graduated preschool. Oh my god, I don't even know if I can do this live. Come on, come on, come on. We can do it. We can do it. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yes, yes, yes. Actually, I just remembered something. The species thing that we were talking about earlier, where people are like projecting their biases onto like fictional races and then going like everyone else is the bigot. That reminded me of like the reason why Xeon is such a good faction. And it's because Xeon isn't space Nazis. Xeon is actually space like Germans, effectively. They're more than just space Germans, but the easiest description is space Germans. And that's really what I appreciate about them. Ooh. I need to get like a Lego part separator out for this. Okay. I realize this is not the way to do this. The way to do this is not to disassemble all of this. The way to fix this is to disassemble this upper part here. Because it's going to be a lot safer to disassemble it. Give me 1 second. Cannot believe this is how we're ending stream, but it is. Oh, there's more panel lining I have to do on this guy. See, this part back here I need to do more panel lining on. Ah! That was terrifying a little. Okay. But I was actually damaged. There's no way, really, once this is assembled, there's no way to get this off without damaging it. And you can see that hairline fracture. It's not like an actual fracture, but it's a stress mark. And it might be like, why don't you just, you know, twist it? Why don't you just, like, twist it around? And that's why, because it comes off. So I actually have to take this out and flip it around. And then I need to put this back in like this. And then twist it around again, pull it up. Then plug all of this back in. Put this here. Oop. I don't know why I was trying to disassemble the entire leg when I only needed to disassemble the upper leg. It's because I'm a little dumb. Don't worry about it. But I'm like Char Aznavour, chat. You know, like, ooh, I make the mistake, so you know what not to do. I fuck up, so you know, like the obvious shit that you shouldn't be doing. Ooh, it all comes full circle. Let me... Oh, looks like I kind of did too good of a job separating that part. And it looks like I separated the underlying part as well. There we go. And then making sure we're doing this right. We are. Okay, and then we plug this back in. Okay. Yes. And now. Now. Oh my god, almost 3 hours and... Well, actually, wait, no. When did I actually... What is our time at? Okay. At 3 hours and about 8 minutes. We can now say that we have this much done. And you can tell how big it is, because, like, oh my god, I can't wait to get out the... I cannot wait to compare him to the F91. I cannot wait to compare him to everything else. Here's our previous build. The Pink Panther Zaku, both of them looking fresh and hot in their, like, nice... And their nice warm colors. Well, is purple a warm or cooled color, actually? But you can tell how big it's gonna be because, I mean, look, the Zaku makes it to its knees. Oh my god, and we still have to finish the waist, and hopefully we can actually transform this on stream. The original Psycho, we just didn't bother because it's so old and it's so shoddy that it just wasn't worth it. But that is everything that we have now. So let me go over... Let me go over here and find a place to link you guys out to. Let us go to here. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I hope you guys liked the stream as much as I enjoyed doing it. It was a fun time with plenty of tangents. And here. Let's see here. Where can I send you off to? Is anyone on YouTube building right now? Anything? Doesn't look like it. Let me see. God, we went pretty late tonight. Oh, you're... Damn it. Okay, so no, you're... A bit of an awkward time because I started stream late. We were talking about Warhammer. So I'm gonna send you to Lulu Lasso, I guess. I know that's random, but like she's playing Warhammer. I have nothing else. So there you go. I hope you enjoy that for what it is. And let me find on Twitch a place to send you people off to. She's playing Warhammer Total War 3, it looks like, I guess. That's actually surprising. But let's put biases aside and find a place to send you off to on Twitch. I'm going to link you out because I don't know how many of you there are. There's 2 of you. And as I said, I don't like the raid with 2 because I don't want you to feel obligated to stick around for it. So, I'm going to find a place to link you off to. I think Lulu Lasso, you know, I'll send you to Lulu Lasso because she simul streams. Copy. God, this is really a bad time. There you go. If you're new, follow and subscribe for more if you're interested. Or subscribe, rather, depending on what platform you're on. But regardless, I hope you enjoyed this, and you have a great day and a wonderful life. We'll be back tomorrow with Digimon. With Digimon, I forget the full title of the game. It doesn't matter. It's Digimon. I spent $70 because this month was so good. I spent no money for like the first 20 days, and then this week everything fell apart, man. Everything just came undone, man. It's like I've spent over the last like 7 days. First half of this month, it was so clean. I've spent over $100 on I spent like over $150 on shit just this last 7 days, and oh god, it's just, oh lord. Life comes at you fast sometimes, chat. But on a happier topic, go watch the Gyaru cowboy girl play Warhammer. Have a great day, a wonderful life, and remember, don't lose your head. Is there anything else? Alien Isolation on Friday? Not Saturday. On Friday, and next week we will be finishing off the Psycho Gundam and starting the Man Roadie in celebration of Etta Hink's re-debut. And do not forget on Friday to go over to Etta and check out her re-debut with her new model. That kind of was clean at the end, wasn't it? Almost makes me seem professional.